This week on the program, it's the long, touching story of a man who discovers a new career in middle age. It's the Postman. I'm Andrew Jupin.
I'm General Stephen Bethlehem.
Oh my God, what do I even say to that? I'm Sheriff Eric Siska, and I got to get this guy out of my town.
Admiral Idaho.
And this is the season 13 finale of We Hate Movies. Hello, everyone. Welcome to We Hate Movies. Thank you for tuning in. As always, that's right, the summer blockbuster extravaganza comes to a close with Kevin Costner's 1996 way too long snooze fest, The Postman.
And now I stuffed all your mailboxes with this one because you guys, I think I was the only one that have seen this before.
You got three first timers in
which
this,
is insane for people who run what was a bad movie podcast. You've never seen The Postman. You guys have seen Waterworld. We did that as a live episode once. So you've seen Waterworld. What was your experience with that in the 90s?
I remember I did not see Waterworld in theaters. I rented it on tape and wasn't super crazy about it.
Yeah.
Although I will say, when we had to rewatch it for that show 1,000 years ago, I remember thinking, like, that's kind of better than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Not by much.
So The Postman, what did you think?
Here's the thing, because they always go, these two movies go hand in hand, right? Kevin Costner's two giganto
way
disasters.
too similar. He should not have been allowed to do both.
And
Absolutely not.
95 and 97, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's insane. Like back to back, you're making these things.
Really nuts. But I will say this, as much as I don't care for this movie and will most certainly never watch it again, I think
bite your tongue.
The pop culture like history of this and like the outcry and the acting, like this movie is like The Room or something, like definitely not. It's just a bloated vanity project.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing, and I don't know, maybe I get put in some kind of movie jail for this. I kind of don't give a shit about Kevin Costner, period.
I don't like Kevin Costner.
Really?
If I can even go,
Yeah.
if I can see you and raise you 20,
Do it up.
I'm taking away your hero cake right now.
what is it? It's like Untouchables. Great movie. You could put anyone else in the Elliot Ness role. You're having a great time.
Sure. But he's still commanding, I think.
Yes. I'm being incredibly rude to the man's career right
Bull
now.
Durham,
I don't care for. I just don't like that movie for whatever reason. Maybe
but
it's
he's
a baseball
good
thing.
in it. Yeah,
exactly.
Field of Dreams. I guess, the thing is, he's like a leading man meant to be overly sentimental, and that feels like it works against itself.
Yes, it does. And I mean, like, even Prince of Thieves is probably my biggest like pop cultural, like that's a movie I watched a lot as a kid.
Right.
And even still, I was just like, I've never been big on the Costner, and like that's why I never watched Waterworld. I'm pretty sure until we did it.
Right,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I never watched this until now.
Is that right?
Yeah, man. Anti-Costner.
I remember Waterworld seeing it. I remember being okay with it. I didn't quite understand. Like, I mean, because the world was just saturated with jokes about Waterworld. Like, as Jay Leno was talking about, David Letterman.
You hear about this?
Everybody was going crazy about how bad it was, how bloated it was.
Sure.
Paul, they gave me a little too much pastrami on my Reuben. It cost more than Waterworld.
Drinking my piss, because the world has gone to piss.
Oh.
Drinking my piss, because the world has gone to this. Good for you.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's
actually.
fantastic.
Wow,
You got a beautiful mind right there.
I do, much like Russell Crowe. You know what? And even like I will say, after watching this, I like it tenfold more.
Waterworld?
In comparison to this,
I like this better.
I prefer Waterworld to Landworld.
Oh yeah, I prefer Waterworld as well.
I mean, I stayed away from this because it was everybody said it was bad.
But-
Like nobody was sticking up for this at all.
What makes both movies is the villain. You got Dennis Hopper twirling a mustache, and Will Patton here, which I think this might be one of a career highlight for Will Patton.
I will say I think Will Patton's kind of awesome in this movie.
I agree.
thought it was a good villain character.
He gets to do it for once. You never got to see him do it again.
I mean, I love Will Patton, but he is not John Cage. He can't make something interesting out of one note.
Wow.
That's just it cannot happen. Again, yes, he tries his best, and he tries to. His delivery gives detail to this character that I do not think is in the script.
That's the problem too. Is like towards the end, you realize like I kind of don't even know what this gang is, and it's been 3 hours. You know what I mean? Like, and I do know what they are, but
you didn't see the book? He's got the book right there.
See the book?
The self-help guru's book. That's what it's all about.
Here's the thing. That dude is dead in this movie.
Nathan Holm.
Holm.
Yeah.
But I need to see like the actual slipcover of that book, and that needs to be a picture of a celebrity. It just has to be.
I need a flashback. I need a flashback to like someone of Costner's stature, Mel Gibson, slapping the shit out of Will Patton and telling him like what his place is in this army.
That would be awesome.
Speaking of Mel Gibson, like he did Road Warrior.
Yeah.
Now Kevin Costner here did Board Warrior.
Horse Warrior? Nah, that's
Male
that's
Warrior?
Too cool.
I don't know. I mean, it's
Male.
Aren't you the one defending this movie?
I am. Listen, it's not.
Mule Warrior.
I know it's not good. As a kid, I saw this and I was kind of interested in it. And I've always thought to myself, there's a movie in here.
There is.
You got to cut out like almost 90 minutes to get there. It's there.
But it's like if Timothée Chalamet directed Dune and Paul Atreides was the greatest emperor of all time.
It's so true.
And everyone's like, oh my God, thank you so much for making my life so much better, Paul Atreides. Oh my God.
Kevin Costner.
It's the worst decision, anything around this movie. Well, two things. Him playing the lead, and two, Warner Brothers releasing this movie at Christmas. You fucking idiot.
I don't know what
Christmas
you're
is
thinking.
dumb.
What are you doing?
That's dumb.
I almost understand it because there's just where else, unless you just do a pure January, dump the fucker.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't know where you put this fucking thing.
It's not a summer.
Like, no, it's not a festival hit. Like,
Here's the thing. It's a perfect big spring movie.
Spring, you think?
You could do
Okay.
this in like a March or an April before the summer movies got going.
Sure.
And it's like, here's a big blockbustery movie, but it's not like action packed. It's this epic post-apocalyptic Western thing. There's a way that you could have angled it instead of saying, hey, y'all, come out around the holidays, like that week between Christmas and New Year, and watch a 3 hours snooze.
Well,
fest.
especially because everyone was gun shy from Waterworld to begin with. You want to bring them back into the fold and be like, no, it's a spring movie.
what people like about him is the stuff he does when he's being directed by somebody else.
Yes, for sure.
Like he's as a tool. When he does stuff like this, like you're just like, man, give it a. You don't have to suck your dick the whole time.
Well, he is sucking it. He's sucking his dick, and you're gonna watch it for 3 hours.
I have not seen Dances with Wolves since I was a kid, and I totally didn't.
Also
get it.
sucking his dick.
No,
in that
exactly.
one.
That's the thing too. It's like I'm the only white guy that knows what to do with these Native Americans.
Yep.
Oh, I'm the only guy that believes in
I'm
law
special.
around here.
Right.
Oh man, I'm not. Are these hidden figures, ladies? These ladies need to be able to do math. I'm the only guy that can figure that out.
People have pointed out the similarities in all these movies, like Dances with Wolves, I don't know if it's a horse or a wolf gets shot.
Yeah,
It's like pet wolf gets shot. His mule gets shot in open range. His dog gets shot. It's all like paint by numbers. He's got this formula of how to suck his own dick.
To be
and you're gonna
fair,
watch it.
I have never seen Open Range. I do not know if he's sucking his own dick. In that
See,
one.
that's the thing is I'm the most Costner acceptable, and I don't really like it that I am that way.
Yeah.
But I liked Open Range. I only saw it once in
Okay.
theaters when it came out in like 2003 or whatever.
You
the
got to
fuck it
give me
was.
like a year or so after this before I feel comfortable looking at him again.
I think if when that happens, 1 year from today, maybe we'll do 3,000 Miles to Graceland, because that is
You're right.
a Costner.
Yes.
Next
That's
season,
garbage.
season finale. There you
If somebody
Also-
please, one of our fans, please, when we're doing the fucking listener request month, please push Field of Dreams. That movie is fucking nuts.
It is. There's ghosts,
crazy.
Ghosts and goblins.
It's awesome in that movie when his fucking daughter's dead because she choked on a hot dog and then a ghost doctor saved.
What?
Oh, God.
I forgot that completely.
absolutely.
Ghost Burt Lancaster.
Please tell me that someone like pumps her chest and a whole hot dog flies out of her mouth.
Almost.
It's
Yeah.
very
that's
close.
so
'Cause she's,
amazing.
like,
She doesn't
cheering
catch it with a
on.
hand.
It's also great because it's a classic baseball snack that is murdering her.
She's like cheering on the game or whatever, and she falls off the rickety bleachers that he built.
Yeah.
You fucking asshole. Maybe get the fucking, I don't know, the town zoning guy to check
Buy me
this out.
some peanuts.
Pretty much.
Here's a place to start
Yes,
thinking about this.
please.
Because you just said the mule.
Eastwood is better, yes.
Dead meat donkey, man. This donkey is
Yeah.
immediately dead meat. You knew
Oh.
it the second you see this hopeful fuck. And
Of
he's
course.
like, you're my only friend. First of all,
Yeah.
what is with the southern accent he's doing in the beginning of the movie, but not for the rest of the film?
I didn't even notice
Radiation poisoning.
He's like, come on, Bill. Oh, Bill, we got some TV here, Bill.
And the
And I'm-
TV is a big question because when he gets down on the couch and he's playing with the remote and you hear TV, but I think it's just hallucination.
No, he's hallucinating.
It's
He's
just
fucking crazy.
hallucinating. But also, Steve, he just likes playing characters.
Sure.
Yeah, I think he puts on voices just to keep himself interested.
Because he's such a great actor. This
Yes.
guy. The unnamed postman. We
The
should
character
say.
is an actor.
Yes,
we
it
should
is.
say
Yes.
he travels town to town once in a while to try to con people out by barely reciting Shakespeare.
Dude, it is I'm not much of an actor, but I think I could slay those line readings more than this postman, man.
I don't think you're baiting the donkey, though. The donkey is a phenomenal McDuff.
I'll tell you this, dude. You get to see a fucking donkey with a sword in its mouth. Pretty awesome.
And the donkey is adorable. And you know the second you see
Bill
it,
the donkey.
you're-
The
it's
mule.
just
It's
like
a mule, by
it's
the
a
way.
mule, I know,
It
but-
is a mule.
Not
Donkey's
only
funner.
do you know the fucking mule is dead, you know it's going to be eaten.
Yes,
you're
exactly.
just like,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
it's me.
Everything-
It's gonna happen.
Everything is meat in this world. They should be eating the people.
You know what? I was
Yep.
waiting for the turn. It didn't happen. I was disappointed.
That's what should be like really weird about the Wholeness Army is like, they fucking eat people.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be
Right?
great.
That'd be
But-
that'd be
another
fantastic.
layer of villainy.
It would require a massive turn from what the book is, because I was reading a little bit on Wikipedia, and the author of the book that this is based on was like,
Oh boy.
this isn't like your Mad Max kind of things. This
This is
like-
not exciting. This
this
is not
is-
fun.
It's a whole. He wanted it to be.
I like this take actually
wanted
because we
it
have
to
so
be-
much of that. But go ahead.
like a hopeful
Yes.
whatever. And I am sorry, there's no hope in the post-apocalypse. That's not what this genre is for.
You know what? I do think you can have in the post. I think you can positive. You can try to end on a positive note. The thing you can't do is spend 3 hours sucking your own dick.
Yes.
Sure.
This really cannot happen. That is the one problem.
If
And
you
I think
cut it down, I think it's only 2.5 hours sucking the dick, and then the rest of it is the movie.
is the cleanup. I think but your point to the hopefulness thing, because the Mad Max thing is probably less accurate. Also, am I going to turn into some fucking violent warlord in 4 fucking years? If shit
You
goes to-
specifically?
Yeah, no, I'll be dead.
Yeah.
But I mean, even still, this has more but what if people were more hopeful? That kind of makes sense, but they wouldn't be fucking dancing to adult contemporary music for fucking hours on end.
Mhm.
That's a little too hopeful.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
remember, the world ended in the beautiful 90s.
yes.
So you got something to remember that has hope. I think we're through the looking glass here. It's hard to remember. I feel like we've already lost what they're mourning in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right there. But you know what? Post-apocalypse did give us an all-white version of "Come and Get Your Love," so I
dude.
suppose that is worth it.
Red bones rolling over in their fucking nuclear radiated grave somewhere. Yeah. Yeah.
Come back and get him.
Yeah, so he's got his mule friend. He's walking around. He's talking to the mule. He goes to a gas station. Yeah, he sits down with the TV and he hears the Monday Night Football theme and the Days of Our Lives theme. I think it's just sort of I can sit here with my great brain and remember what TV was.
We got everything from what's he say?
Jesus to
to Jeopardy.
Oh, great.
Cool.
You know what? I'm just thrilled to have Kevin Costner here doing his thing. It's just,
there is scope here though. There's a scene where he's sitting outside on top of this thing, and there's a matte painting of the horizon
Yes.
with the sign. And there's great stunt work in this movie. it's got a huge scope. It unfortunately was used for sucking his own dick.
That's always the problem we're going to come back to.
He gives himself a statue at the end of the movie.
Sure does. And I need to know if that is on Kevin Costner's property right now. If he still has
probably.
that
If not, if someone else has it, let me know.
That-
I'll bid on it.
The garage Adam Sandler has with funny people. I bet you Kevin Costner has like 12 of them.
It's,
just full with shit like that.
I think it's in that same garage in Jersey where the Falcor puppet is.
Well, he was like he was begging the Planet Hollywood folk to take it. They just wouldn't. They're like, dude, I don't want that.
Yeah, man, it's gonna take up like you know what? I can get like 3 tables for what this is gonna take up in the dining room, man.
Kev, just give me the hat. Give me the Postman hat. I'll take the Postman hat off your head.
What's so funny, like at the ending when there is that statue and that one guy is like, that was me as the boy. And I just I needed a character to say to him, what, you think you're the only fucking kid that gave the postman a letter, you fucking sack of shit?
That's what I was doing, yelling in my living room, because that's one of the dumber parts of this movie. That was me. Oh, was it? Was it rocket science?
And just in case you didn't remember, let's replay this scene one more time.
The final shot, the last thing you see
Victory
in
lap.
this movie is Kevin Costner's son's fucking face. Why?
Because
Oh,
that's
that's
the
his-
future.
that-
That's the future, Andrew. That's the real post-apocalyptic
Was that
future right there.
Was that his actual son?
His entire fucking
They're all there.
family is in this.
whole
Oh
brood.
my God.
Isn't the daughter the letter carrier that comes?
Oh my
Sure
God.
is.
Now are all these like now Yellowstone cast members?
Probably.
Probably
Because I
somewhere
feel like
in
that's
there.
another reason to do this now. He's got that Yellowstone hoopla going on. He's leaving the show, the drama.
Well, he's doing a 4-part Western.
He's doing
epic
Avatar.
film.
He's doing
Yes, he
Western
is.
Avatar.
He is.
Let him cook. Honestly.
It's called The Ride.
Everyone's fucking sucking James Cameron's dick. Let me get a little nib on Kevin Costner. Just
no.
a little suckle.
There's no room. His mouth is fully on it, dude. Where are you going to get
I
in?
don't know.
Get a
I'll
little
work
bit of
the
like
balls.
the base there. you
Yeah.
know, just
I'll,
a little bit.
I'll lick his
Gotta
shaft.
get a crowbar. You gotta be like a snapatura. Get a crowbar in there and find the space.
Sir, can I have your pubes?
So sexy postman comes across the town. He's like, I don't know, Bill. That's civilization. I don't know if we want to go in there.
Well, he
So-
has this like if he's supposed to be this like roaming fucking thespian or whatever, he's like, now remember, animal, the number one rule is we avoid society. And I was like, well, are you supposed to be entertaining the masses or not?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think he tries to avoid society, but every so often he has to go in and get some food and
Right.
wash that taint a little bit.
Needs
you
a
know?
little turn up.
definitely.
Needs a little turn up soup.
Mhm.
And I mean the whole. So it's 2013.
Yes.
So Lord never comes around, never becomes big. Kanye never puts Yeezus out.
Oh, wow. Great.
It's really there's some things we're dodging some bullets.
I love it, dude.
a few bullets, but we're in Utah, I think, at the beginning.
Yes,
of
we
this.
are.
The salt flats of
Mhm.
Utah, and yeah, we come up on this. I guess they're like little townships.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that's still,
they're still towns
They're
because
still
remember, not worth nuking.
no,
And
not
that's
worth
because
it.
that's the other thing too, though. It's vague apocalypse. It's like there
Yes,
were bombs,
yes.
there were diseases.
Yeah.
You know, it was a bad week.
I think
plagues.
in the book, I believe there were bioweapons as
Mhm.
well.
You have to just pick
Disease.
something and tell me what happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is
yeah.
The
very
vagaries
vague.
of like you hear audio from like television from fucking decades ago or
Yes.
whatever out of nowhere, but it's also like radio, and that's confusing too because a lot of it
Do they have
was,
electricity or do they not have electricity?
and a lot of it was radio noises, and I was like, is this a live broadcast?
I
what the
think-
fuck is
I
happening?
know. I don't. I think.
No.
I think those
No,
are
I know
memories.
it's not
but
after watching it, but like,
but there's
as
pro-
you're watching it, it's
to
confusing.
your point, there's projectors. There is electricity to some degree. I believe
Christmas lights at the fucking bar that we're hanging out, listening to that
I
fucking
think-
that VH1 horse shit.
we're doing gas generators. I think, which is also like that's finite. And the amount of bullets we just throw the fuck away.
Oh, dude, yeah.
That you making bullets? What's happening there?
Yeah, that's true.
How does
There's
that
one,
work?
Isn't there like one? I think there's a single line about like saving ammo.
Yeah.
At
Yes.
some point along.
And
the
I think
way.
it's only Costner. Like fucking Will Patton apparently does have a bullet factory somewhere on the compound.
No, if it's contractual. If there's a good idea in the movie, Kevin Costner has to say it.
There, yeah,
So
that's
how that works.
okay. That makes
And I was
sense.
like, wow, good idea, Postman.
So it's worth noting that we are hearing the voice of a youngish woman narrating what's going on.
Oh, I
here.
forgot about that.
Which
Because
is
it drops out of the movie.
Which is my father.
My father
was doing this, that, and the other thing, you know,
Right.
and that's what he was doing.
My
Sure
father
was.
was a mediocre actor. He had worked a lot with Lawrence Kasdan, and he just roamed the wasteland with a nice, good, honestly, great facial hair at the beginning.
Oh, yeah,
this
It's
beard.
looking
Thanks,
phenomenal.
Yeah,
it
looks good.
The fact that it leaves kind of it saddened me.
You
a
know
little
what's
bit.
funny
I don't like the frog chin.
You can tell. I believe he was doing that. There was the beginning,
Yes.
and then when they're holed up at the cabin, I think they filmed that at the same time because
Yes,
the
yes.
facial hair is exact
Very
and
similar.
back.
Yeah, so then she's like, and then later she's like, oh, you shaved again. That looks nice. I'm like, no, it doesn't. The beard was badass.
No.
It was
badass.
better.
He also has like this sun bleached, like dirty blonde hair.
Yeah.
Not too shabby. It works
Yeah.
out nicely for him. So he performs a couple of scenes from Macbeth with the greatest scene partner ever, a mule.
Mhm.
You do see the horse hold a fake sword in its mouth, which is great. And then one of the funniest, like biggest laughs in the movie is the crazy guy from
Yes.
Die Hard 2 coming
Yes.
up to him like, "You're a piece of shit actor." I was like, that's nice.
And this dude just like, and then Kevin Costner responding about like, how much did you pay to get in? So bite me.
Society ended in like 1998, so then everyone's just saying "bite me" for the rest of eternity.
Yeah,
what
we
a
should
fucking
be
hell on earth!
We should be stuck with late 90s slang like
But
that. Absolutely.
Here's another good thing about that, Steve. The Simpsons ended.
It's a good point, and maybe like somebody.
True.
It took several plagues, but yeah,
Took
finally.
a nuclear warhead and a
Kevin-
pandemic back to back.
Kevin Costner's like, oh man, I remember being in line for Lost in Space with Matt LeBlanc. That was going to be the biggest movie in America. It just really was. It was going to change our lives.
We just never got to see what happened. We never got to see the movie come out.
He was watching the coming attractions as the world ended.
I mean, Matt LeBlanc, Gary Oldman. I mean, what? William Hurt. This is an all-star cast. Barry McConnell.
How could it have missed? And we'll never know. It would be great too if like Will Patton comes out right here because this is all his like fucking Ravager scumbags come into the town, and it'd be great if he's on like a bullhorn, like, "Don't have a cow, man." But
Chill out.
here he comes, Will Patton as General fucking Bethlehem. Cool.
Okay.
Whatever.
Take two on the name. Oh no! Yet again, whatever the next name is better.
I think it's everyone's like that's a fake name. He just named himself
sure.
that. The Postman's a fake name.
Yeah. And he comes in. He's like, the postman smells shit going south immediately. He gets his mule, tries to get out of there.
Then he goes up to the mule. He's like, "It's happening again. We gotta go."
The Holnists are here. We do hear about them in the same radio thing. Nathan Holm and the Holnists. And like, you can, we already talked about Ed, but I'm going to come back to this. I need to see him.
I need to see him.
You talk about him too much.
Just guess what? Make Will Patton him.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Just be done with it.
I think it's supposedly cooler, and I think in a book it is cooler if he's dead and he's the second generation, because in a book you like actually talking about it, you would imagine it, but in a movie you need to see and not tell.
Right, because the book is the world building.
Yeah, 15 years. No second generation anything. If you want that to be the case, it's got to be way farther into the future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
think
Because like this dude just published his last book, less than 20 years ago.
I think in the book or something, it's like Nathan Hole gets like firing squatted or something. But in this, it's skin cancer, which is that a radiation thing or is that a joke?
How would we know? Because we don't truly know what happened to the planet.
No, but we
Not
do
a
know,
joke because sense of humor.
No, there's not much of it here.
No.
But we do know they wear orange, which is crazy. That's like, it's like they're trying to look like von Richthofen's Flying Circus here. You're like saying, "Come at me."
I mean, I guess if you it's a sign of strength, and also like, hey, when you're hunting, you don't want to shoot your buddies. So like, hey, you're.
I
you're
think that's it more than
too.
anything.
Don't
is
shoot
like-
me, please. Yeah.
exactly.
But this movie does accurately assess that these militias in the woods, the biggest threat to our country.
Break
Oh,
them up.
for sure.
And the
Absolutely.
federal government needs to bring their heel.
No,
Also-
I just think that they're looking at human trafficking, which I don't know if you're reading about. It's a really big problem.
Oh yeah,
It's
I'm
happening
sure.
all the time.
Well, you never
every-
know. They might take all those babies and make a baby army in the woods that'll then kill you and your family. So that's we do have
The
to
baby
stop.
killed.
I'm glad Mormon Hollywood is finally taking care of this problem
these
for
fucking,
good.
the brain worms in people's heads.
There's some fucking dicey shit here, which totally makes sense because this is what would happen if this shit happened. But so like these dudes are taking, Will Patton says 3 conscripts from each town, and he's looking for men between 15 and 50 of, quote, suitable ethnic foundation.
It's a militia in the Pacific Northwest. They're saying that right now.
No, I literally started the whole thing by saying that, but it is just weird to like hear that in this.
Yes.
I didn't expect this to be coming from
I
the
didn't
Postman.
expect the N-word in this movie, but it graces us.
I didn't want or need that. But then later when they capture Larenz Tate, they're just like, "You postman," like it. You forgot what the thing was. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You literally, it's been 3 hours, and I understand because I did too. But you were a racist militia at the beginning of this movie, and now you kidnapped a black kid. So
yeah, it's unsurprising that threads fell to the ground in this movie, Steve.
Some editing, please.
And keep a notice that there is a lion about.
Yes,
it is
right.
just roaming around.
Got to tell you, that shot of that lion in the rain was doing it. I think it's pretty cool. Fucking shot of a lion in the rain.
Yeah,
right?
I felt like I was watching the beginning of Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
If this was like a tight 90, less dick sucking, it might be something.
I would accept like 2 hours and 10 minutes with this movie.
Sure.
Because even a 47-minute cut down, mwah,
Exactly.
beautiful.
I would like to see what it looked like.
I think I'm alone, but I didn't really feel the runtime as much.
Oh, well, we're going to be on disagreement on that one.
I'm feeling the runtime right
here's
now.
the thing. Here's the thing.
Right now, I'm
me.
feeling
Guys,
it.
I just think I've been trained by modern movies that put aside 4 or 5 hours. You're
Yeah,
watching
that's
a
true.
movie.
Yeah.
Every movie, like Mission Impossible,
The
Dead
Postman Part
Reckoning.
1. What if you called this the Postman Part 1?
Dude, then I'd be buying a ticket for Part 2
I mean,
if
I
it
guess
ever
to
happened.
be fair,
but
Dead Reckoning is like, what is that?
it's
2.5.
the same length as this.
It's a little,
14 minutes shorter?
yeah.
Yes, because it's 2:48 or something.
It's 2
Oh, really?
Oppenheimer
Okay.
trailers shorter than this.
I have to say, surprisingly, I didn't really feel it. I
There
stopped
you go.
kind of at like the 90-minute mark and like
Same.
checked through some email, took a shit.
You need an intermission with the Postman. I
do.
will admit that much.
I would also like an ending earlier.
Yes,
He
that's
gets
fair.
kidnapped, and like
Yes.
it's kind of, I mean, like I do appreciate in a way there's this movie is vignette. It's like, the first part is like, I'm a lonely man. Second part is I'm part of this crazy army. Third part, fourth part. Like I kind of like that bit of it, but I do think that it's just too many parts.
It's booky.
It is very booky in that regard. The part of the movie when he is in the fucking cabin with Olivia Williams, like,
So
I don't want to be in the movie anymore. No, I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up.
I know you saved my life, but this stew sucks.
And I'm like, dude, it's been 2 hours. Get to the rest of it.
And I'll
That's
tell you
true.
what, you can eliminate the entire winter sequence in
Yes.
that cabin.
Yeah.
No one would know. No one would care. Because here's the other thing, too. If you were illustrating like passage of time like this, editing is your fucking friend, first of all. Hello. But if you're not going to do that, and part of this thing is like this woman is with child.
Yes.
This movie does such a fucking terrible job of
Yes.
telling you
Yep.
that like a bunch of time has passed. Like she does not get
Show.
a belly
Yeah,
bump
no.
in that movie at
No.
all.
Mm-mm.
There's not a single hint of a belly bump. And it's like, if they're sitting through a whole winter, like all that winter shit happens and then it cuts and he's like splashing around in a creek because it's springtime. She's got to come out that cabin with a fucking belly bump.
Yeah.
And she does not. And that told me right there, I was like, you could cut all the winter stuff out
You
then.
could
Because
cut
if you
it
didn't
all
fucking bother
Yes.
to give her a belly bump and show the progress of this pregnancy, this whole thing in the winter doesn't matter. And you could get right to
'Cause
fucking
that's-
It was
spring and
under the
nobody would know.
sweaters. Don't you know? Don't worry. It was under the
I
sweaters.
love the sweaters in this movie.
Donkey shit, dude.
Oh, that poor donkey, because he's
It's a mule.
that's a mule. He gets
Doesn't matter. He's dead.
yeah.
But just
well,
real quick on the winter thing, if he gets shot, and that's why we have that time
Yes.
of him healing. But you could, to your point, you could just cut it all out. She can take him to Ford Lincoln Mercury,
yeah.
and he can be. He can just
around the mail carrier's like, hey, what's that
Exactly.
guy doing? What's that guy?
And
And you're setting that up a
he
little
can
earlier.
heal there, and then we can just zip along to the next segment of the film.
Oh, zip! Not in this movie, my friend.
No.
We are
Mr.
clip
Zip.
clopping at best.
Which I think is quite hilarious because, of course, who is the famous mascot for the Postal Service, but Mr. Zip himself.
Mhm.
And nobody's zipping anywhere in this movie.
There's nothing priority about this mail.
Oh,
It
excellent.
would have to be Mr. Trudge. That would be the one.
So in this sequence, he meets Woody, played by Brian Wilson from The Wire. He's fucking great on that show.
Mhm.
He's also taken to this camp. Yes, this is where Bill the Mule is fucking executed and eaten. And he also meets Giovanni Ribisi straight off the other sister set. I don't know what the fuck they thought this was supposed to be.
55% of Giovanni Ribisi
This is
characters
true.
have an IQ of under 85.
Yes.
At least more than half have an IQ under 85.
As
Yes.
I remembered this movie as a kid, and somehow I combined Brian Anthony Wilson's character and Giovanni's Ribisi's character.
The movie should have done that too.
I know, because like I worked on a terrible film in Poughkeepsie, and I drove Brian Anthony Wilson around for like 2 months here and there. I mean, I don't think he was on the movie that much, maybe a week, but he's a really nice guy. And in my mind, I was like, I got the man child from the Postman in the back of my car. I was combining their characters, and that's unfortunate.
It's good you didn't bring that up to him then.
No. But
You
he
played
was,
a great man child, sir.
he was a fucking sweetheart, a complete delight, and I was just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Not like I was a bad person, but I was a production assistant.
Sure.
He had no right to be that nice to me, and I appreciate that.
In the swing of things, you were a piece of shit.
Well, he
That's
was
right.
leading
Let's go.
by example because no one should be
Yeah.
a dick on set to
Thank
anybody.
you. Yes, except for a lot of other people were.
But here's the thing. So I just called this character Woody. The only reason I know his name is Woody is because that's what the IMDb told me. And this is a major fuck you to this movie is we are never addressing characters by name. Like, did you know Giovanni Ribisi is Bandit 20?
No.
Neither did I until the IMDb. Like,
I
That
wasn't
is
aware there were
insane.
bandits.
He was originally credited as dim-witted bandit, and then someone was like, no, it's bandit
Crazy
20.
boy,
Yeah.
I think.
but like you have so many characters in this movie, and it's like I don't know what it was almost like having like, you know, sort of some sort of like recognition blindness. I was like watching all of these people in this movie, and I was like, I don't know who half of them are because none of them have names.
And
You know
it's
what?
cool to not give the postman a name. I think
Yes.
that's a cool
That's fine.
idea. That's a thing
Definitely.
that we do in fiction a lot. And it's
Yeah.
like the lead character, you know, that's the one. That's the fulcrum run on everything. He doesn't need a name. Everybody else does though.
Yes.
Everybody
Yeah.
I
else.
see what you guys are saying. This movie needs to be longer so we can
Yes.
establish. But you know, honestly, TV.
Yeah.
This could be a fucking like AMC show.
yes, it could totally be because here's the thing: if you
That I'll never watch. You can put it next
You
to
will
the
never
you can
watch
next to
it.
Outlands and all that fucking the
Hell
general
on Wheels, you could say.
Hell on Wheels, General Washington Spies, all of those shows.
Right.
Put it next to
Rubicon.
Yellowstone.
Rubicon.
Thank
yeah.
you for leaving Rubicon out, Steve. A great fucking show.
I would watch the Postman TV show.
Well, here's the
'cause
thing:
I'm
if you
I'm
did a TV
simp.
show, I was thinking of this. Like, then you could have because we love. Thank you very much. Lost, flashing back and forward on television so much now that like you could totally do that. You could have like here, what the fuck was Nathan Holm up to? Blah blah blah.
Yes.
Like you could definitely do that, and honestly, it would feel like a richer story.
Yeah,
but
it would.
you can't do all this in a movie, and that's why like you need to make cuts. And I'm sorry. Again, Warner Brothers, if you have 2 disastrous test screenings of this movie,
Mhm.
and the major complaint in both of them is that this shit's way too fucking long, I don't care what fucking Dances with Wolves says.
Yeah.
Cut the movie down.
Yeah.
This is why they don't have that. You're not allowed to have your own editor anymore. You have a team of editors that you talk to with like an MCU movie or any kind of franchise. Like editing is mostly done in like a format.
Oh, but
now.
MCU movies, they're like edited before they even get shot, right?
Well,
They
they're
got the
you
whole
previs like most
Previs.
most things.
Jesus Christ, that's dystopian. At least you know this Costner's got so many fucking faults, but at least he went for some vision. There's ambition to all
It's
of his
a Kevin
projects.
Costner movie.
It's an ambitious.
It's not good, but it's ambitious.
It's an ambitious movie that falls so hard in its
I
face, the skull
Never
explodes.
said it's not ambitious to try to suck your own dick. It is incredibly ambitious. It takes a lot of skill.
But think about
it
it.
takes a lot of flexibility.
He convinced so many people to let him do it, and we
Twice!
all watched it
We did. I mean, but
Not
none of
all
us
of us.
liked it.
because this was like probably a flop at the
Yeah.
box.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
it was a famous one.
Over. So it's the opening like weekend itself was like $5 million on a budget of 80.
A budget of 80. Look how quaint that is.
I know.
I believe it.
You know, I don't know what 80 million is in today money.
Probably
60 of it went to Costner,
but
probably 160 million.
It only wound up domestically grossing like $20.5 million or something like that. Yeah, it's awful.
Oh, that is bad.
Yeah.
So at Wholeness's place, we're introduced, it's this army, and there's 8 tenets of the wholeness, and like, 1 is you got to kill or be killed. 2 is this, that, and the other. You got to be bad all the time. It's a bad guy world.
Thy neighbor's wife.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the 10 Commandments.
But one of them
kill your enemy.
Is you can challenge me at any time.
That's right.
It's more loaded than that. Any Klansman may challenge for leadership of the Klan.
I was super glad I had subtitles on because I was like, how you spelling that in this movie?
Hey, Will Patton, talk to me.
It's a C. We don't want to be sued by the Ku Klux boys.
Yeah, they're very litigious,
Oh,
those
of course
guys.
they are.
You don't want to get sued by the Grand Dragon, dude. I love the stupid Shakespeare off we have right here.
Yes.
And it's like, this is the most pretentious dick waggling I've ever seen in a movie.
It's
Two
bad.
dudes just spitting Billy Shakes at each other. Who
they-
could do it best?
They make it through the first 2 pages of wiki quotes of Shakespeare's most well-known fucking quotes. It's fucking so stupid.
It's softball city, man.
Yeah,
it's
it's
fucking
all
softball
easy
city.
stuff.
Like, they're not even doing whole things. It's
No.
just like a line. And
Dude,
then
if you say to be or not to be in that competition, you've immediately lost.
Will
right.
Patton's men like clapping by pounding their thighs or whatever, and everyone else laughing at the postman's attempts at Shakespeare, just because, obviously Bethlehem is the leader.
He's got 2.
Yes.
Will Patton's got 2 number 2s here. One is like this proto Shea. What's his face from the Mission Impossible?
Shea Wiggum?
Yeah, a proto Shea Wiggum, the guy who drops the N word.
James Russo.
James
Oh,
Russo.
yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
good
yes,
comparison
yes.
to Shea Wiggum. Same kind of vibe. Shea Wiggum, way better
He's
actor.
dropping the
Yes.
N word all the time. That's Shea Wiggum.
James
No,
Russo.
he's not.
No,
Oh, I thought that's
stop
what you were
it.
saying.
No. And then of course the great who's been in he's in the Friends of Eddie Coyle, Joe Santos
Yeah.
as Colonel Getty, the silent guy.
Yes.
Just a great face. It's
Right.
a great
Yeah.
face.
Great face, so much character in it, and we learned that his tongue was cut out and his balls were removed for challenging under that law
Yeah.
of a Klansman may challenge the leader of the Klan. He lost, and then he became that like a lap dog.
Well,
Now-
because he went up against Will Patton, and we
Yes.
find out that Will Patton was a salesman. So actually, this happened before all the post-apocalyptic stuff.
Yes,
This
is
guy's
an
just wanted
office
his
thing.
sales route, and he was like, "Fuck you."
Coffee is for closers. I'm cutting
Yeah,
your
yeah.
balls off, literally.
The good leads are for people that have balls.
It's kind of weird though, because and I get it, he's supposed to be like the big mean villain of this movie, but dude, how can you not beat up Will Patton?
Yeah.
Like, how could you not? Like,
He's scrappy.
it's
scrappy.
it's unbelievable that this dude was such a good fighter that he beat this huge fucking Italian dude and then cut his tongue
It
out. and
sounds
ripped
like
his balls
someone
off.
thinks they could beat Will Patton up.
I 100% could beat Will
Really?
Yeah. I'll tell you where I put my money on.
Dude, I'll put money on Minari Will Patton fucking
Yeah.
mopping the floor with you.
We're gonna go down to a Minari farm and have you, Andrew and Will Patton fight.
Yeah.
I would
I'm a
love to
dirty
see this.
fucking fighter, dude. Don't bite. I don't give a
Seriously,
shit.
let's put stuff like this in the ether. Like, please, let's do this. We could get pay-per-view or
Yes,
something, right? We
get
could get
Will
some of that
Patton,
money.
let's call his people, have him fight Andrew
We
on
could all fight
Musk
celebrities.
and Zuckerberg, Jupin and Patton.
That's right. That's right. Those billionaire turds can be our opening act.
Just keep
Sure.
calling him a cuck or something. That's
That's a good one.
amazing.
So after the Shakespeare off, Will Patton's all like, "You think you're a pretty smart fella," and just punches him out. He wakes up to a 35 millimeter print of The Sound of Music being played, and I got to tell
There's
you,
culture.
I have seen in my day a worse 35 millimeter print of The Sound of Music than what they screen in this post-apocalyptic
See,
hellscape.
okay, now here's a question: would you join the Wholeness Army? Because
For
listen,
movies?
they care about film preservation.
Yeah, they do.
I don't see Sheriff Kruger from Seinfeld
Yeah.
having a bunch of fucking films in the
Fair
back.
point.
Dude, again, I mean, if it's between, oh, hey, we're going to play Universal Soldier, or you got to listen to this fucking jam band, like, I think I'm going to the
Universal Soldier.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
of
please.
course. And it was nice to see Universal
But
Soldier.
you're not. These are heathens. These Wholeness. They don't even
Yep.
fucking respect Universal
They
Soldier.
boo it. They
That's
boo
true.
the movie
Yes.
and they throw rocks at the projection booth until he puts Sound of Music.
I
fucking
think it's a
disgusting
joke.
savages.
It's a fun joke. You'd
yeah.
expect these guys to love Universal Soldier, but no, they're soft on the inside.
Nothing
Oh.
about that is funny.
But
not at all.
It also shows that their hearts can be thawed, and we might see something like that in 3 hours' time.
If somebody could successfully scrap with Will Patton, perhaps they might be
Yes.
able to be changed.
And this is when we met Giovanni Ribisi, who is, like we said, I don't know, playing.
He's
Crazy
doing his
boy.
thing.
He's just doing his thing.
Doing it. He's
Yeah.
fucking doing it.
And he's like screaming and yelling and like by the way, they at this point they're like, hey, Kevin Costner, hey, the Postman, you're not the Postman yet. We're calling you Shakespeare. Hey, Shakespeare, what the mule stew? And like,
Yeah.
in a post-apocalyptic situation, I haven't eaten in 4 days. All I can say is I really hope I wouldn't eat my own pet. I would really
Ooh.
hope.
Yeah.
I would like to
You'd
say
still
that I
do
would.
it, right?
I would
do it.
like to say that I would.
You totally would.
You would.
Yes.
Well, you
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
Oh, we would all feel terrible, but
Yes.
we're eating the fucking
Yeah,
It's
but
happening.
here's how you know that this fucking Postman or soon to be Postman, he's still
Mhm.
Shakespeare right now,
That's right.
is the hero of the movie,
Yes.
the bravest dude in the camp, one of the greatest human beings you'll ever meet in your life.
I agree.
Because they pull this shit where it's like, if you're last in line to get your food, you must not be that hungry, so fucking get sucking. And like, they don't let Giovanni Ribisi eat.
Yes.
And he's
You're
fucking
eating cum tonight. bro.
yeah, well, he wishes, and then like he's pissing and moaning, like, "Oh, geez, I was supposed to eat," and then like all you see is this hand come down from the top
Uh-huh.
bunk, offering his bowl of food to this poor Slav person. you
Not
know?
unlike Jesus Jesus Christ.
Yes, it's
Right.
true.
That's
The,
Yeah,
the,
true.
the,
He's
the
a
man
savior.
himself.
That's
like
right.
it's
The brutality of this army, like you'd be fostering mutinies right and left. People would be challenged.
Yes, yeah.
'Cause you can't. The last person can't eat. The rules are way too hard to maintain any morale.
Yep,
here.
absolutely. You need to like keep these dudes like
Keep 'em
wanting
happy.
to be
Maybe
in
with like
your,
a half ration or something like that.
Sure.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
got
Sure.
yeah, because you see these fruits not come to pass because of how Ribisi
Yeah.
eventually turns on him.
Right.
You
So
should
we-
get more donkey.
We get like this first training day where it's like you're jogging with full packs on, and I'm like, oh, good, it's a fucking boot camp sequence. Bet this will be as good as Full Metal Jacket,
Oh boy.
and twice as long.
They should have hit Kevin Costner with soap. But then again, I guess there's no soap in the future.
Yeah,
No,
that's
no.
true. You just have to put rocks in
Oh,
your socks instead,
rocks and
yeah.
towels. That's nice.
Sweet mother of Christ, Eric, the smell in this
Oh, yeah.
world.
Ooh.
Oh,
The smells,
yeah.
they would be so complex and dank.
Yeah, it'd be shit world. Is what
Yeah,
it
oh,
is.
man.
Not Waterworld. Shit
You would
world.
just be
I mean,
throwing
here's
up
the
everywhere.
thing. It's like I'm almost doing that now, Chris.
Okay, well, because of
This
the heat,
is a shit
of course.
world
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now. Everything smells. You can't go anywhere in this
But
fucking
it's fall
world.
in, I think, in at least the beginning of this,
But
right?
But it's a little more potent because everyone's not bathing anymore.
That is true. It is true.
At a certain point,
Not that they do now either.
James Russo goes up to Eric's friend Brian Anthony
Wilson.
drops the N-bomb on him because
Sure does.
he's like, I don't know what the general thinks, but I know that you're, and it's like, all right.
Just super 1000% not for this movie.
No, I
it's
know.
just not, because you don't build on that
Exactly.
at all. It just, that's literally
Well,
the
we're not
end
doing
of
American
that.
History X here. I mean, neither nor should we. But like,
No.
if you're doing it, do it.
Now, but Andrew, wouldn't you get? You might think Idaho's a good guy if he doesn't say that.
Oh,
See
that's
that you
true.
might get confused, and that's a problem.
That's another guy. There's Idaho. You called him that because you looked on IMDb. They don't fucking address this asshole by name once in this movie. It's so bad. So then we're doing Will Patton's playing fascist musical chairs.
Yes.
Where it's like, all right, everybody, take a seat. And all these fucking idiots go to sit on these stumps. And there's not enough stumps for everybody. And then he does this. It's like some like dickhead dad coaching a soccer team.
Yeah.
Like, well, I just told you to sit. I didn't say where or what to sit on. You didn't sit. You disobeyed an order.
Oh,
And-
that's right. That's
And
like-
then this dude gets fucking strung up like Mussolini, and Will Patton cuts his throat with a sword.
Yeah.
and of course, it's
too
not.
hard.
This tells like
Too harsh.
this is a scene that could have happened and could have been done minute maybe.
Yeah.
Like this, it goes on for 4 to 5 minutes of Will Patton be like, well, habba dabba 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 point that was going to be made. Baba habba dabba hooba dabba hooba baba.
Chris, let him cook.
Sure.
And this is just redundant with the Ribisi point too, right?
Yeah.
Do one, don't do all.
Yes,
like, you know what I mean?
that's very fair.
Because this isn't. It's not like we're going to stay with the militia the whole time. We're about to leave the militia forever, actually.
It's like a choose your own adventure novel, but you're reading every single adventure. You're like,
And also, one of the good things about having the run be the first thing with the packs and everything is that you do get to see the camp. It shows you around. It's an interesting way.
The production design of this camp I thought was really
looks pretty
great.
good. And it's big and
Solid
expansive
stuff. It is fucking hilarious though, because any fella or lady in the theater seeing this movie who worked for the Xerox Corporation let out a big hey right at this part, because so Kevin Costner is brought up to Will Patton's office, and it's very much like The Last Castle, right? Like
Yes.
everything is shitty except his office is beautiful. There's bookshelves, and he's painting a self-portrait of himself. That sucks. The postman is right when he calls him a shitty painter at the end of the movie. But like, they're talking, and he's like, yeah, in a previous life I was a copy machine repairman. Can you imagine what a wasted life that is? And I just picture all these people working for like Xerox or Canon, just like,
well, I'm sorry they had to hear the truth.
Sorry, I'm not a fucking racist general, you asshole.
And like, you know, so Kevin Costner, you know, gets a earful from this guy, and then he gets put back in the pen, and he starts floating the idea you know, of escape to Woody and Ribisi's character. And Ribisi immediately fucking narcs on this guy.
Of course. Yeah.
That's
because
fucked
he's
up.
an idiot. Like again, like, and also you know immediately then like, oh well, he's dead. Like, it's just like, well, this is not here for long.
So like Kevin Costner's first big test here with these guys is there's a lion out on the prowl. And he's apparently taken out a couple of the guys. So
I like
it's
the
like
line that's like, ha! Must have been a zoo back here before the war.
And everyone starts laughing for some reason.
Yeah.
because everything this dude says is hilarious. to
God.
them. Or they'll be killed.
I'm just gonna assume that's racist too.
And so it's like, all right, he's tasked with going out. He's got to find the lion and bring back like the dude that got attacked or whatever. And it's like, here's this Russo guy. He's about to take the gun and give it to him. And Will Patton's like, I don't think so. And throws this knife like down from the guard tower. And it's like, that's all he has to go find this lion. Wouldn't you know it? He finds this fucking dead body in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
He's got to go cross like a Temple of Doom bridge. And he finds the body, and he's bringing it back over this bridge. And they're like, come on, let's keep going, motherfucker. And
You still got a lion to hunt because you're going to make him fight the lion after this.
Yes.
And this I thought was pretty rad. He sees like part of the bridge is fucked up, and there's just like a single rickety board. And he stamps through it and falls into the river with this corpse alongside him, which is great. And this was primo dummy photography.
Oh yeah,
right
well this
here.
is like when Homer Simpson tries to get out of exercise and does like the fake,
right.
fakes his own death with the dummy.
Oh my god! If he gets sucked into those turbines, he'll be killed.
I didn't kill the lion. I don't care.
So, you know, he drops down into the river. We get some good Kevin Costner actually doing these stunts and swimming down the river. And all these dudes like futilely shooting at the water trying to get him.
Tommy Lee Jones and the whole gang are going up the water trying to find him.
Absolutely. Joey Pants.
Hundreds of bullets just thrown away in the garbage.
It's so stupid.
Now I want you to check everything. I want you to check every dilapidated house, dilapidated house, dilapidated house, dilapidated house, or dilapidated house.
Or abandoned post office, but mostly dilapidated house.
Trees, caves, and trees.
So this dude Woody is assigned to go chase after him. He gets thrown into the water too, along with the Russo guy, which I didn't think made sense. Like, what?
I was confused.
They're not like handcuffed. Like, why did that dude risk his life in that way as like, you know, the number 2 or the number 3 of this fascist army?
He wants to see the show. He thinks he's going to watch this guy die, so I think he wants to go see the show.
I mean, it is a bit weird, but it's also like, wait a second. The guy that wanted to escape just left, and the guy that told me that,
Yes.
and the other guy also is leaving. Maybe I should follow up on this.
The smart one. He's the smart one there.
And the first person to come upon Costner is Giovanni Ribisi, and he kind of gets. He gets the death that Adam Goldberg gets in Saving Private Ryan, not the death that Giovanni Ribisi gets. Just the knife in the heart.
Right.
Oh,
Slow.
Yeah, which is kind of great and kind of awesome for this character because nobody likes a rat, dude.
No. Yeah, he's
And he's like, I'm sorry.
I mean, he gave him a lot of outs.
He
Like, it doesn't
did.
have to be
He got
like
a stab in the
this.
heart.
Just, you didn't see me.
And then the Woody is just like, because like, let's escape together. And then like Russo's like, nah, go get him. And he's like, I guess I'll just give up my life for this dude because like there's such a better way to take down this guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wouldn't
Absolutely.
you do the same for Jesus Christ,
That's
Steve?
true. Well,
I mean, if you met Jesus Christ in the wild,
The magnetism of him. Wow.
Right. And if there was a Roman centurion behind him, you'd perhaps chuck your knife at him and then die.
Then just like get shot in the heart. And he throws the knife. I do like the accuracy of the knife throw into the arm. That's pretty cool.
It's nice.
Not too shabby. He says something like, I won't have a harness on my back or
Yeah.
something after being called boy twice by
Yes,
this
that's also
dude.
he's
Oh,
pushing
yeah.
it too hard.
And so yeah, he just like falls on this guy, but I was just like, what a waste. Like I was so thrilled
Yeah, like,
for
the two of
Brian
them.
Wilson to be like his number 2 in this movie, and they're going around and because also
Right.
the other thing too is like I had no idea what this movie was about. I knew
Yes.
that it was called The Postman. He was dressed up as a postman, and it was the post-apocalypse. I didn't know it was like this. I'm selling a town a bill of goods by pretending to be a
He's a
postal
fucking
employee.
lying piece of shit.
I had
Yeah.
no idea about any of that, and I didn't know that he was like this lone journeyman kind of dude. So I was like so pumped, and then this dude just gets murdered immediately.
well, you see, Andrew, by playing a role, sometimes it might seem silly, but you can actually change the winds of a nation if you are to take it seriously and do
Sure.
it the right way.
Sure.
Cut the winds of a nation.
They also can do that. You can also fart the nation.
Yeah.
Fart the Nation this Sunday on CBS Mornings.
So he escapes, and like there's a storm going on. It's
Sure.
like really cold. He comes across the postal truck, and it's amazing because it's just Kevin Costner doing Tim Allen noises. He's like, roar, roar, roar,
He
roar.
becomes a
Yes.
caveman because he finds a lighter and he's like, oh, warmth. Meanwhile, there's this like
I thought he was going to eat it. Like,
there's this pristine skeleton all dressed up like, welcome to the skeleton car.
Dude, best guest appearance in this movie is the Skeleton League coming in right here. and
He looks great.
he's talking to this skeleton, and this is what I realized. And the movie,
Neither rain nor brimstone, nor.
the movie is inundated with this shit, and it's worse than anything you could imagine. And I don't know that I'd ever really encountered this in any. Well, no, I guess that's not true. But like Kevin Costner doing comedy like this
Nope.
is poison.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
It's so bad.
Right, like he's reading the letters
Yeah.
and he's all talking about like, oh, John or whoever is getting their contractor license.
oh, yeah. Isn't that charming? Don't you just want to sit here and listen to him alone for fucking 2 hours?
Also breaking the law, just reading other people's mail.
true.
What's
Fuck
also
you.
here's something you could cut out of the movie: him staring at a child's tooth that someone had mailed.
Haunted.
Staring at it, handling it.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess that's like this is the children of the future. I
Give
guess.
the tooth to me. It means nothing to you.
It is another skeleton. It is a part of a skeleton.
I'm nothing but teeth.
Teeth are currency in my world.
I think teeth are I was made out of them.
The bones are our money. So are the worms.
You may have my old postal carrier uniform and my old postal carrier bag, but no, the teeth stays with me.
One tooth that could buy a whole pint of gloom.
You know what? Skeletons should be alive in this world.
I'm
I
fine
do-
with it.
Sure.
At the end of the
I'll try anything with this fucking movie.
Just throw it at the wall, dude. Two things. Well, he does eventually tell Olivia Williams, and we're coming to go
Oh my God.
about what happened, and he's like, and it is an LOL line. He's like, I got this costume off a skeleton. He calls it a skeleton. He says
Yeah.
skeleton out loud. That made me laugh. But there isn't actually, which should be in this movie, because he takes the costume and then he goes to wherever the next town is, and he tries to gain entry. as a postman.
Yes.
And then the movie starts, really, an hour and 15 minutes in.
Pineview.
Yes, with Sheriff Kruger from Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah.
And like and everyone finds hope in what he sells and all this stuff. But in every movie like this, there needs to be this scene where it's like, it was all a lie.
Yep.
And like that never happens.
No.
Somehow that never happens in this movie.
Well, because his one flaw was also the best flaw that a man can have.
I think it's
You
also,
understand? Because he had hope.
God.
It's also like, does it matter?
No,
Who cares? Because it's like inspiring hope.
Sure.
And we're doing. It's like,
if we're doing
Yeah.
it anyway, it doesn't matter if it's real.
because it's like,
Yes.
this world is such garbage. Does it matter if I die trying to deliver a letter, or does it matter if I die because I'm conscripted into the Wholeness Army?
And hey, by happy accident, Steve, you might just give birth to Mary Stuart Masterson, and she might be in charge of an interstellar future world where all things are fine.
I don't think it's an interstellar future world. We do finally at the end of the movie. We're jumping around, but that's fine because we're probably not going to go for the
like
full
2047, isn't it?
2043,
Okay.
and it's finally 1998 again.
Sure.
We can be fucking happy.
it's exactly 1998.
There's like a 1998 Honda out
Yes.
there. It's beautiful.
There's like
So
a
hold on
microphone. It's just
So hold on for 20 more years, every folks. We're fine.
Yes, because this is seriously a better future than we could ever dream of having for ourselves.
Uh-huh.
If it was 1998 again in a few years, but we'll never get back there.
No, I don't
And
think so.
Now that we have dedicated the postman's statue of my father, let us all now join hands while we listen to a rendition of New America's national anthem. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on. Go play.
Well, it's got to be a folk band doing it, a mandolin on that.
And then
You
I'd
got-
be there being like, it was all worth it. It was all worth it.
you got your hand out. All that glitters is gold. Holy shit.
cuts to Kevin Costner. He's still alive for some reason. He cuts to him and looks off, and he's like, "Only one statue."
What's funny is that
Couldn't they have done a series of them throughout the
Sure.
land?
that statue is like a memorial to him.
Yes.
But
Yes,
doing
he's
the
dead.
math, his character in this is born in 1973.
Yeah.
He's like 70, I think.
Yeah, he's about 70 when he dies.
Yes.
But Costner was born in 55. It's interesting that, like, I mean, to make it work that he's like 40 in 2013, it
Yeah.
makes sense. But there's a lot of signifiers like that throughout the movie, which is interesting. Like, you see an old man later, and it doesn't, I feel like this movie's not as effective as it was when it came out, because this old guy who's a veteran was like,
Oh, Terrence Malick.
yes, director Terrence Malick. I fought in Vietnam, and he's like an old man, and that would affect you in the audience at the time, because you're like, but I did, and I'm not old.
Yeah.
But
So
I
it's
survived.
kind of
I
interesting.
survived to Kevin Costner's apocalypse. Oh, thank God.
I just think some of those age signifiers are kind of interesting, and I don't think they
Sure.
work anymore. I think they worked in the 90s.
Yeah.
They're popular in the 90s. I
That
think.
part's kind of interesting, but it's sort of like, I don't know, like Kevin Costner, the character in this movie, is old enough to have known what the Vietnam War was, and for this guy to be like, yep, this purty lady gave me this tattoo in a little place in a little village called Saigon, and I'm like, just say you were in Vietnam.
He goes big. The eyes as big as saucer
Yeah.
sting.
Yeah.
Man, oh
A lot
man,
of stuff
We
going on.
take everything for a walk in this movie.
it's quite a lot.
Why use one line when seven will do? So he winds up going, he's at this town, and Von Bargen's like, get the fuck out of here, I'm gonna blow your head off. He's like, but I'm bringing the mail.
Dude, it's awesome because he's like, who the hell are you? Blah, blah, blah. And he just goes, I'm your postman. And I was like, one of how many times are we saying the title in this movie? Turned out at least about 3 dozen.
And he's got 5 seconds to get the hell out of there, but he's calling out random names in his letter satchel, and wouldn't you know it, one of them is for Irene Mitchell.
March.
March, even better.
Yes.
Oh, did he say my name?
That's very fortunate. It's also fortunate that the clothes fit it all.
Yes.
Right? Like, what if it didn't?
Great. Well, they had Taylor survived, Eric.
Right, they take the pants in.
Because I think the mailman that perished, dude, was none other than beloved Postal Service employee Cliff Clavin.
That's
right.
Or Wayne Knight, obviously. Could
Oh,
also be.
sure, absolutely.
He was way out there because he was trying to take a bunch of cans to redeem them in Idaho.
Exactly.
I don't know how they never made a Newman watching the Postman joke. The show was still on the air when this movie came out.
Instead of making out during Schindler's List, how could you make out during the Postman?
Oh, that's true.
It's riveting.
How could you take your eyes off the screen, Jerry, or something like that?
What do you mean you didn't like Dear God?
Okay. God. I will say this is a better postal movie than Dear God.
Postal
Maybe.
is a better postal movie
Yeah,
than Dear God.
yeah.
Oh my God. I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
So he gets, because he delivered the letter, we also meet Peggy Lipton, who, by the way, I'm like, oh, so that's the love interest.
Sure.
Because she's like, my mother is blind, and you say you helped her so much, and I'm like,
You made her feel like she could see again.
Yeah, it's like
Got any food?
hey, what about you? But like 10 years younger and British. That's it. That's the one.
I don't know how Kevin Costner's character is turning down Peggy Lipton in this movie.
He
I
is,
could have
though.
had them all.
Also, I'm going to need you to, I don't know how to say this. Could you play up the breeding thing?
Well, he gets a nice shave, which I don't consider it a nice shave, honestly.
No,
Keep that
sucks.
beard. Keep that beard.
Yeah.
And he goes. This is when we meet Larenz Tate as Ford Mercury Lincoln, who is this scrappy kid that is just enamored with this postman. Enamored with him.
Yeah. Because I think it's a thing where Larenz Tate, like, as his character, is just like, here's a dude from the outside. He's got this like lived life or whatever. Take me with you. I'm the only black guy in this town.
Exactly.
This place fucking
If
sucks.
I have to hear fucking Mother Love Bone one more fucking time, I'm gonna kill myself. What can you do to get me out of here?
I think like when the Wholeness Army comes, he just has to hide. He can't ever get conscripted because of his race. This is a guy that offers some kind of hope. I guess I mean that's the point of the movie.
Well,
Yes.
yeah.
But so he goes into the food hall and everyone starts asking him questions. This is when he starts really laying it on, like, oh no, I'm part of the reunified United States and we're coming back and we've got a president and
President Richard Starkey, and he's got a saying, it's getting better all the time.
Dude,
Stuff's getting better.
They stop from saying all the
Oh, do
time,
they?
and it killed me because, of course, Richard Starkey, that's Ringo Starr's real name. That's what we're doing.
Which is
also,
like someone should be some old guy in the Vietnam guy. Fucking bullshit, man.
yep, exactly, dude. It's like, well, oh, Ringo's son become president? What? Like, it's so crazy that like Kevin Costner's character would know to make that reference, but none of the other old timers around are like, did you say Ringo Starr's the new president of the United States?
You know what? You're right. There should be a yesterday-like ending to this. Where the two people who figured it out are just there like, we know he's not the president. That's Ringo Starr you're talking about.
You know what, Eric? Chris just did it. I would rather watch The Postman again than yesterday.
I agree.
Gary, I would absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even though this movie is like twice the length of yesterday,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. That movie's poison.
I couldn't handle it. I couldn't
Yeah,
handle
that would be a
Disgusting.
problem.
Yeah.
Disgusting, that movie.
Yeah.
Piece
Awful.
of shit.
Awful. I wish the world ended.
But yeah, so like, and now it's the dance. You know what I mean? He's said a bunch of stuff about the new United States. We're back.
Dude, one of the things that's really funny is before we get the Redbone cover, there is this song that we're introduced to, like, This Is How This Town Lives scene, where it's everybody jamming around, and they're just, the song is la 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 la. And dude, this town is going fucking nuts for this. And again, if this is what society becomes, and this is what I am subjected to every day, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk into the woods, hope a bear fucking finds
It's
me.
all you got. You either have that or you live on the woods and
I
you
would
read
rather have nothing than hear
This
this
kind
song
of
every day.
gibberish-led positivity, I can't take it.
So in comes Olivia Williams, and she's like,
Abby.
"Oh, hello, postman. Hi. Oh, I'm not British, am I? I'm
Dude.
holding it back."
I was cranking the sound bar this morning. I could not figure out if she was even trying to cover up the accent or not.
Well,
Is this pre-Rushmore? This is pre-Rushmore, right?
Yeah, it's like the year before.
Yeah, the year before, I think.
Rushmore's 98, I think.
Yes, that sounds right. Yeah.
Rushmore.
But well, the problem is that you're hearing too much. La 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 la. Yeah, we love life even though it sucks.
And she's like, she starts asking him all these questions, like, how is it back east? It's like this.
How tall are you?
Yeah.
Are you smart? And dude, before she even got to in my notes, I just wrote, is she sizing this guy up for procreation or just fucking? And then immediately after these little sausage fingies finish typing that note, she just says, which I think is the line of the movie, so as far as you know, you have good semen.
It is so insane because it's also like her husband had a bad case of the mumps.
The bad mumps.
The bad mumps.
So therefore his semen is terrible and I need your semen.
Yes.
And did you guys see the trivia for this scene? Apparently, here I'll read it to you. Verbatim here. During the scene where the postman is asked by the childless couple to impregnate the wife, the musicians in the scene are playing a song by the Loving Spoonful, who purportedly took their name from the fact that the average amount of ejaculate is about a spoonful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kevin Costner and Amy Grant recorded a version of it
Really?
for this movie.
Yeah, it plays in the movie.
Here's the thing. The Olivia Williams bit is kind of like, because he fucks her. You know what I mean? He fucks her for that reason.
Sure does.
If
we have to.
Excuse me. He says no at first, but once she shows him the goods.
Yes, he's ready to go.
He's ready to go right there once she disrobes.
Well, yeah.
But it would be cool if she isn't his love interest. If literally this thing comes to pass, where he's just what she calls him, the body father. You know what I mean? Like, and the other, the dude, the husband is just like this hunk beefcake kid who winds up being on The Office for like 5.5 minutes. But that's the only thing I've ever seen him in. But
I just watched an episode of Star
Roy?
Trek Voyager with him at one point, like recently.
Yeah.
This dude was in like my IMDb viewing
that's
history.
hilarious.
Oh,
No, he's
gross.
not Roy. That's some other
in
fucking
The
guy.
Office, he's in the second season when they split up, where there's the Stanford office and the regular
Sure,
office.
yeah.
He runs that. He's like the good Michael Scott version. Like he's like
Oh, weird.
the handsome, smart boss.
Oh, I don't remember that. I just saw this guy had a blockhead and the other guy had a blockhead. So I assumed the same guy.
But like, if that's the thing, and like he does this thing, and then maybe he dies, and it's like, that's my legacy, as I gave this couple this kid. That would be cool. Like, and then maybe he fucks Peggy Lipton or whatever else. Like, that's, if you want to keep this dude like knee deep in it, sure. But I think it's a better idea to actually fulfill this thing as opposed to like, A, she gets pregnant, then B, like 3 seconds later, that dude is fucking dead.
Well,
Here's the other thing. May I just throw this out there? Society has not yet rebuilt itself
Sure.
to the point where we need to be making more fucking people. All right. This
Yeah.
whole like, we're so excited about getting pregnant. We just want to get pregnant right now. It's like, lady, you're fucking shitting in a pot and then throwing it in the woods.
But
Like,
her kid might be the bright one to
Yes.
invent plumbing.
See,
You would be
Andrew,
definitely starting a Splinter Cell. Like I could see the no birthers.
the wrapping it up club.
But Andrew, that's all we have left is but to procreate.
yeah.
I bet there's a bunch of fucking books you never got to.
Also, all the wholeness, they completely burned the entire stock of condoms. We don't got any. They're gone.
Well, you know,
I don't believe in that shit.
God wants you to have so many goddamn children.
This is true.
So many children, and if some get trafficked, that's a problem.
It's a good point to bring up there, Eric. But Steve, what you were saying, it would be nice if that happened.
Yes.
But by the way they shoot the sex scene, that it's like, because it's like love making.
Yeah,
like,
it's
crazy.
And she's
linger.
rocking on him.
Oh,
and she's
yeah.
having fun.
Well,
There's-
she might as well come by saying, "You're so much bigger than Michael."
I think I counted 3 goes
Yeah.
in this scene. He's fucking laying down in the bed and he's like sweating and
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
trying to catch his breath. And she fucking mounts him again and
Yeah.
she's really trying
And
to get her money's worth
this
here.
scene is very passionate. You get the orchestra like going
Yeah.
like
Oh, man.
crescendoing.
James
It's
Newton
crazy.
Howard is losing his mind in this scene.
It's amazing, dude. He's going
James
for it.
Newt seen Howard over here.
So some old fart points him toward the abandoned post office. This is kind of hilarious. This dude's like, what you looking for is right over there. And this guy's like, Costner's like, wow, this old crone, what a whack job. And then he looks like, oh, he's pointing me to the post office. Oh, I forgot I'm the postman.
Also, there's this pristine post office. A, no one's sleeping in it. B, the
Shocking.
letters. I would go through all the letters anyway, just for fuck's sake.
Or the packages. Maybe there's
There
some
might be some-
food.
exactly.
Why wouldn't you? Like, what the fuck?
Or burn them for kindling.
It's not the Library of Alexandria, for fucking Christ's sake. It's a couple of letters.
And it's been fucking 20 years. Like, everybody's dead anyway. Who gives a shit?
That's
and
true.
This is when Larenz Tate comes up and is like, can you swear me in to be a postman?
There's kind of, I mean, this is so stupid, but there is kind
But
of
you
a funny
kinda like
part.
it.
No, I was amused at this one line where he's like, only you can't just sign up. Only a postman can make you a postman. And Larenz Tate goes, oh, what, like vampires?
Yeah.
I was like, that's something for this
Yes.
movie. Bring on the vamps, dude.
That's a cool idea. Vampires.
Mm-hmm.
Again, try it. Anything. You want it, dinosaurs, sure.
And this is like Von Bargen, the great Daniel Von Bargen, by the way.
Yeah, rest in
Yes.
peace.
It, on his 90s hot streak, just comes up to him and he's like, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know who you are, but you gotta get the fuck out of here in the morning. Right now, you've only cost me like 2 bowls of soup and a few broken hearts.
Yep.
I want you out of here.
Yes, the broken hearts thing, that gives him carte blanche to
Yes.
do all of his pumping into that lady. Because
Absolutely.
he fucks her after that.
But then later in the movie, Von Bargen is giving up his life for this asshole.
of
I don't-
course.
No.
Yes.
No, that's
Well,
because
'cause
he's so inspired
Yes.
by this drifter.
Because he fully comes around later in the movie
Sure.
when he comes back with mail from his sister who he thought was dead.
Yes.
Of
So he
course.
becomes a true believer then.
Yes.
It is kind of the great Von Bargen delivery, though, where I just pictured Mr. Kruger when he goes, wow, I got a letter from my sister. Thought she was dead.
Yes.
And I just pictured him saying that to Jason Alexander.
Anyway, what's for lunch? What do you think, Coco the monkey?
Let me read this fine letter. We are starving. Goodbye. Signed, Lisa.
What? Took a bath on that.
No, you don't look like a T-bone. We're going to start calling you the Postman.
I love Von Bargen.
He's so
he was
fucking
great,
good.
man.
He was fantastic
great.
as like the devil
Yes.
in Oh Brother Where Art Thou, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
He's got the
God,
sunglasses.
that's right.
Right, that reflect the fire in them.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He was
great
also very
movie.
funny on Malcolm in the Middle. He's like the boarding school,
Oh,
like
yeah.
headmaster or whatever.
And he's the other guy from Thinner, the
Yes,
guy who
sir.
turns into a lizard or whatever.
Oh,
Take the gun! Yes.
lizard, amphibian.
So they kick him out, and then, but like everyone has their letters for him, and he's like, "Oh, I'll come back in a couple of months, I guess." And Von Bargen's like, "I hope you fucking drown."
Dude, he goes like Von Bargen, like this dude's like riding out of town. Von Bargen's like, "Hey, how do I know you're not full of shit?"
Yeah.
or something like that. And he goes, "If I come back carrying mail, you'll have your answer." And I'm like, "All right, tough guy."
That's going to be another 2 hours, you say.
Oh, dude, and then this is Kevin Costner fucking flag pin on your lapel bullshit. He's riding out of town, and this little
shut the
girl
fuck up.
starts singing "America the Beautiful." Oh, stupid!
I was screaming in my house. I mean, like that's the thing is like you are.
That's one of his daughters, too, right?
Cut it out.
Is it?
I think that's one of his daughters.
You've already got the James Newton Howard score telling you this man is Jesus incarnate.
Yeah.
And that America is beautiful and only good things, and we've never done anything wrong.
That's right.
Constantly. And
Yes, we already have an American Jesus. His name was Joseph Smith.
That's
Okay, so
true.
fucking,
That's true.
cut
they
it
had the
out.
fucking smarts to
Dude.
run that fucker out of town.
That's actually, in all seriousness, there was a post-apocalyptic event
Uh-huh.
in America.
Sure.
You survive it, you're speaking Mormon now, buddy. Because they are going to be breeding like fucking cockroaches.
They already are.
They already are. You,
Just 5 minutes, not 10 minutes ago on the train, some Mormon kid came up to me asking if I was going to church on Sunday.
Was it in this neighborhood?
Yes.
I see those kids all the time. And kids, they're like in their 20s.
Yeah.
And they're walking around, they got their dumb name tag.
the tie and
on.
everything.
And it's fucking hilarious because like all the time they just cluelessly walk around like, are we going to see you at church on Sunday?
Mm.
And it's,
Mhm.
dude, it's such great people watching. You just see the people in this neighborhood looking at them, and the responses are always like, what the fuck do you think? Or just like laughing at them.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Like, here's the thing. Do what you want to do. Mind your own fucking business about it. And don't bother me at the bodega. I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
trying to buy beer and go home.
The Holden folks come in right after and the whole town's a buzz about the postman this and the postman that.
Larenz
We're flying
Tate-
you shouldn't be flying that flag. You should know better.
Yep.
Yeah, Larenz Tate is like scrubbing this post office with a
Yes.
sponge, and I'm like, oh, you're too excited about this.
Uh-huh.
This is really stupid. But yeah, it's like, who's flying that flag? Dude,
I go to post office now and say this. Who is responsible for that?
Why isn't the Holnist flag up?
Which is just an orange bandana or something.
they make this dude Michael, who is Abby's broken dick husband,
Oh, boy.
take this flag down and set it on fire. And dude, when I tell you, again, this is the fucking James Nudesine Howard score here. The swell when the flames touch the flag, oh my god! And like the movie starts crying,
Yes, it does.
and
It
I
does.
start laughing.
It is correct.
Like, it's just bullshit.
Yeah.
And Von Bargen is hiding Larenz Tate because for all sorts of reasons.
He
We're only
refuses.
gonna refer to half of them though.
There's a fucked up thing here where, and it's never really explained why Von Bargen refuses to call Larenz Tate by Buick Ford
Yeah.
or Ford Mercury Buick.
Ford
Yeah.
Lincoln Mercury.
Jesus
Yes, that's
Christ.
it.
Just dumb. But that's what the dude wants to be called.
Because
and-
he wanted to learn how to drive and he lives in the fucking gas station.
Sure,
or something.
great. Amazing.
I'm just letting folks know.
But this
Someone
fucking
didn't watch the movie.
this fucking guy is like calling him John the
Yeah.
Holtz. It's John
Oh,
this
yeah.
and John that. And
Yeah.
like
His real name, yeah.
it's a completely unexplored thing.
Yeah.
Nobody
Which, thank you, Prestige TV show. We can have a whole TV episode about
I can't
that.
wait. I cannot wait.
Me and 5 other dads, I'm not a dad, but I'll hang out with them, would watch
Look,
that.
stars, you're looking for stuff. Here you go.
Exactly.
Coming up after the game, we got the Postman starring I don't even know what Skeet Ulrich, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. They're trying the Postman again, huh? I think I did ad reads the first time they did this.
Is that a remake of Il Postino, the
No, it's-
Italian romance, or is that the stupid one?
You wish, motherfuck. It's the dumb one. And it's even worse because Skeet Ulrich is involved.
Coming up after the game, the dumb one.
And of course, the villain in the series is played by, you guessed it, Skeet Ulrich.
Actually, and I got no beef with Ulrich.
No, of course
But
not.
what I think wasn't that show Jericho a
Yes.
Skeet
Yes.
Ulrich
Yeah.
post-apocalyptic
It sure
show?
was.
Indeed.
Oh.
And he was telling people stuff. He was trying to communicate and
Oh, was he
bridge people.
prophesizing and
He was,
whatnot?
well, he's trying to bring people together.
I never watched it because it sounded Christian.
Yeah,
It was a little bit.
vaguely.
We'll get there.
So Will Patton famously screams, "There is no United States of America. Burn down that post office."
And then he's hanging out after burning the flag, and he's like, "That is a prime piece of ass."
All right, gentlemen, that is first-rate prime piece of ass. And I'm like, piece of ass stuck around in this post.
I want John Santos to like hand him a note. And he's like, "What's this note say?" "Oh, I would have enjoyed that, but you cut my balls off 10 years." Yeah, I know. I get it.
That guy should communicate through cute notes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
I would love that. See, again, if we had a long TV season, we could really explore those notes.
Or he's like writing responses on a chalkboard and like
Right.
talking
Yeah.
to people.
Yep. On the season finale of The Postman, you're going to find out who's been leaving the Postman notes.
Might be the guy that's been communicating with notes all season.
Maybe
Little
it's
prediction.
maybe it's in Bethlehem's backyard. We'll find out Sunday night.
And we're also coming up a prequel series to the Postman, Bethlehem's Beet Farm. Coming up.
But so like he not only I think what you call the husband Michael comes up to like, "Hey, that's my wife actually."
She's a married woman.
Yeah.
Well, because Will
Could you
Patton,
kill me, sir?
Will Patton is like, yeah, you need to like say it's cool, man.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, I can't give my blessing for this, for you to like kidnap and
You
rape
see,
my wife.
what we live under is a feudal system,
Yes.
and we have lords and vassals. That's me and you.
That's right. I'm enacting prima nocturnal.
Yes, exactly.
Well, he's like, yeah, because he's like, in this society, I am obliged to sleep with the bride. And this dude pulls a great line. He's like, Well, I don't know what to tell you, man. We actually got married 3 years ago. I wouldn't really call her the bride anymore. And he's like, well, I wasn't invited to the ceremony, or like whatever he says.
Oh God.
So yeah, he tries to take this lady, and this dude like steps up and tries to, defend his wife's honor, and he's murdered immediately.
Stabbed in the heart.
That's right.
Nice
Just
and
run
quick.
right through.
And then he's interrogating Kruger there, and it's just like, what is happening in this town? There's something going on. And he says there was a guy who called himself the Postman, that he represented the restored United States. And it's like, which way did he ride? He rode east. All right, send 3 patrols south, north, west, and 1 east. They better find him east.
Yes, which is, I thought that was kind of
pretty
a cool
cool.
line.
Yeah, it's a cool line.
And meanwhile, Ford here rides off to go deliver his own mail now, and that's the last you see of Larenz Tate for about an hour and 30 minutes.
You
Don't
can take a
worry, he'll be
90-minute
back.
break in this movie.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. The next movie will tell you what happens.
So then we get to Benning, Oregon, and he's delivering mail to this town, and this is so he has to keep giving bullshit lies because everybody's asking him about society or whatever. And in this town is where he goes, he's like, oh yeah, no, I was in New York. It's back. Broadway's back up and running. They're doing a new musical by Andrew Floyd Webber.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a no
And then
big-
the
big no,
mayor,
thank you.
the mayor of the town, played by George Winter from Spaceballs, Colonel Sanders, who you might have heard last week on our American Pie 2
Oh,
episode.
right. He's the
Had
camp counselor.
Butt trombone. Yeah.
no idea. This was not, we didn't plan on
No.
this retrospective for this
The Wiener Sans.
small-time actor, mid-tier actor.
And I'm a little annoyed because not to jump too far ahead, but he gets brutally murdered.
Yes.
But we're cutting away, and I'm like, this is an actor, I've never seen this guy get brutally murdered. Like,
Totally.
come on, you know what I mean? Like,
I
what
need
was
to-
I going to see
Thank
Colonel
you.
Sanders get shot in the heart?
I need
Yeah.
to see more people brutally murdered that I have not seen before brutally murdered.
But you
Yes.
know that's not this movie, because the one time you absolutely would use it is when he strings that guy up and
Yes.
is going to show his brutality, and they just he goes up, puts a knife there, and it's like, would somebody cut, please? Thank you.
But this should be the end of the Postman, because he could see what he has wrought here.
Yes.
The army shows up looking for him, looking for everything, and he's just coming up with a plan for the mayor. Tell him you'll give him 3 times the supplies. He's like, okay,
Right.
yeah, that's a good idea. Well, since you're a representative of the government, why don't you go and tell him?
Mm-hmm.
And here's my cue. Because the editing is just non-existent and abysmal in this movie. It's constructed so poorly. I have no clue how much time has passed.
yeah.
Why does Will Patton not recognize this guy?
I guess because he's shaved at the very least. But even
Clark Kent.
fucking
No
still.
way.
So stupid.
Clark Kent
dude.
syndrome.
It's so dumb.
I-
When he goes do I know you? And I was like, didn't you just see him yesterday? What fucking day is it?
Andrew, to be fair, he sees so many new people
That's true.
all the time.
That's true.
He's a recruiter. So
Yeah,
people come to his office.
He
Right,
sees
that's
dozens
right.
and dozens of people,
Mhm.
okay?
None
That's
of this
right.
is acceptable. Absolutely fucking none
Also,
of what you're saying is acceptable.
Later in the movie, we find out Costner even has the mark of 8. Did we even see him get it?
Nope.
I don't
Did
think
not.
that's amazing. 'Cause
You
I
saw-
thought I
why
just nodded off or
You saw
something.
Woody get it. There's a
Yeah,
scene it's looking down from way high up,
Yeah.
and he's laid out on a table, and you see that dude get it. You do not see Kevin Costner get the fucking mark.
Which
Yeah.
is bizarre.
And that confuses me more, because for a moment when because it is not really revealed until he has the fight with Will Patton at the end.
Yes.
And there, for a minute, I was like, oh, wait, is he saying that he was with Nathan Holman right at the beginning? And he had got he was
Oh, yeah.
that would at least be
Sure.
interesting.
Sure.
That lends a little more complexity to him.
Yeah, I've
But
known more about this organization than you ever did, Will
But
Patton. Or
that
whatever.
would- be
somehow in the
fascinating.
3 hours they couldn't understand to explain the fucking big hinge point on their climax.
And so he's lying to Will Patton's face, and he's like, "Yes, I am a representative from the newly reformed United States.
Yeah.
The new capital is in Minneapolis." He's like, and Will Patton's like, "I saw the White House burn," and he's just like, "Yeah, well, now it's the government exists where the Vikings used to play."
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny, but it's also Will Patton's like, "Oh, you're a little funny fucker, aren't you? Yeah, you're so fucking funny." And I would be like, It could totally be true. That's not a joke.
And he's like, all right, Postman, this is what you wrought. And then, he starts murdering the whole town.
Oh, yeah.
And, we kill Colonel Sanders. We cut away.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I had to go back. I'm sorry.
At least there, we see some of the budget on the screen here. This town is getting destroyed by cannon fire.
Could you imagine if, Mel Brooks, say, is in the new Quentin Tarantino movie?
Yeah.
And
so far, so good.
He gets fucking, brutally murdered in it.
I'm liking this.
You'd be like, holy shit, that's awesome. You'd be like, I never thought I'd expect Mel Brooks' head to get blown off in a movie. Not in real life, of course, he's a treasure.
Yes.
But, in a movie, squibs and all, going crazy.
It's kind of like you never saw Danny DeVito get the shit beat out of him like that
Exactly.
until you watched LA Confidential. And then you're like, oh, that's what that looks like.
What are
now
I'm
I know.
Into it.
What are some other actors we could watch die?
That's a great question.
There's a lot.
Who's famously never getting fucking just jacked in a movie?
The funny thing, when the fuck was the last time Tom Cruise died on the screen? Was it Valkyrie? But that whole movie's about a suicide mission, so I think that doesn't count.
Yeah.
But he's a dude that
I could see him
Dwayne
die.
Johnson refuses to die on screen.
Someone could just do Dwayne Johnson would be great.
Oh, so good. Just ripping him apart. Right?
Yeah, it's just a horse runs over him.
Yes.
This is one way I would chant for Vin Diesel. If there was one chance, this would be it.
All of these big tough guys that refuse to show any kind of weakness or defeat on the screen.
We saw Vin Diesel die in Saving Private Ryan.
He does.
Right?
He dies in the rain.
Right. All right.
Yeah,
which is a pretty good
No,
one.
I just want to see Vin Diesel take Dwayne Johnson apart. I'm saying the one time I'd be going for Vin Diesel.
Yeah,
I see.
Take him apart.
Vin is doing the deed.
He's Jason Momoa's number 2, it turns out, all of a sudden, and Diesel has to take him apart at the hinges.
Here's a good one.
Sure.
Jim Carrey.
Oh,
Jim Carrey, just he's in maybe he's at a convenience store and some RoboCop henchman with a shotgun just sprays him all over the counter.
To be fair, I forgot how the Majestic ended. That might be
number 23. I don't know how that ends.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't know.
That possibly.
He's just playing a saxophone in that movie.
But he also made that remake of Jar City, Dark Places. It's so bad. He made this grim dark fucking remake of an Icelandic thriller.
I don't remember this at all.
This was the last movie I think he did where he had the huge beard. Remember that?
Okay.
The beard, which I think he had number 23, didn't he?
No.
Oh, he was clean shaven in that movie?
He had I think a little scruff going.
Oh, okay. I guess I just remember the saxophone. I saw that movie in theaters.
But there's plenty of
Still
ways to
haven't.
play that game, and it'll be a lot of fun to watch these people.
It would be
get
great to watch.
murdered
them
on
die.
screen, of course.
But just
of
on
course.
screen.
Yeah,
on
of
screen.
course.
So there's this big cool shootout action scene or whatever. Kevin Costner saves Abby here. They sort of ride.
Well, she
off.
saves him first. To be fair, she does because she breaks out of her containment and starts.
Yes.
She's like a sniper for some reason.
Oh, right. She's really good at shooting for 30 seconds of this movie.
Yeah.
She was brought she was brought with the army of wholeness or whatever. Yeah. She's not just magically there from plain view.
Yes, she did. And again, which is funny. So she snipes, then he saves her, and they ride off together.
Who's the dude that gets it right in the head, though? Is that one of the bigger characters? She shoots this dude right through the.
There's just some bald guy who's about to shoot Costner in the head.
This guy always gets shot.
Really?
This
head is so big.
Well, I think that's part of it. Because he's the guy, he doesn't get shot, but he gets beaten to death very early. Long Kiss Goodnight. He's the guy who comes into the house.
See, that's what I'm saying. Some people always get murdered. Some people
Yeah.
never get
This
murdered.
guy's
And I
always
want to
getting
see the
murdered.
guy that never gets murdered.
Totally. A nice change
Did
of
Dan
pace.
Aykroyd ever get murdered?
Ooh, fuck, that's a good question.
What are you doing with that knife? No. I'm pretty sure he gets it pretty bad in Gross Point Blank. I would imagine.
Yes, he gets a TV.
Oh, the
that's
TV?
on his
Yes,
head.
he does.
He gets the
There you
Stu
go.
Mocker death.
And that was glorious, too. They should do it
That
more
was
often.
a great death. I think he even twitched his feet.
Yeah, actually, this is the exact like mental sensation that I think we're getting at here, because I remember the first time I saw Gross Point Blank.
Yes.
I was horrified
Yeah.
watching Dan Aykroyd get killed on screen.
Popcorn.
This is actually, I think we're coming up with a great new game for the Cinephile game.
Oh, there you
What's the most horrific death for each actor pulled from each card?
Oh, I like that.
I'll get Corey on the horn. We'll fix this up.
We
Right
should.
up.
We
Yeah.
So yeah, she saves him,
Yeah.
and then we end. This is like 90-minute mark, and here we are in the woods for the next, during winter for the next 30-40 minutes.
Well, hold tight, because there's a rad moment that happens here where they're riding off and Costner starts slumping down.
Yeah.
It's revealed he's been shot in the melee, and she's like, "Oh, we have to get out. We have to keep going." This terrible voice. And they sort of pull the horse over into some woods here, and most of the dudes ride by. And she's like got the horse laying down.
Right.
Very impressive you get this horse to lay down, but it kind of like whinnies a little bit. And this poor son of a bitch comes in like, now I got ye. And she beats this dude to death with a rock.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Pretty awesome. Like she kind of does some of the most awesome ass kicking in this movie. And then like once it's like, I'm with child, like you never get any of it again.
One of the weirdest. So what happens here is this guy comes upon her and is like got the gun trained on her. And Kevin Costner is holding back a branch.
Yes.
And hits him with the branch. Will Patton, you have some weak soldiers.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you this right now.
Yeah.
If this is enough to get you like to be gotten rocked to death.
Well, Chris, to be fair, he might have been last for dinner, and he was a little not to his
They're
best.
desperate for soldiers these days. I get it.
This dude's more of like the Ribisi caliber kind of
He
soldier.
didn't get no mule.
Here's the thing. What if this guy was Tom Everett Scott and now his head's getting crushed in by a rock? You're like, wow, I've never seen that before.
Hell yeah, look
Surprising.
at that. Wow, all right.
Yeah.
Look at that thing you did, huh?
David Spade, fantastic.
But
Actually, I was kind of thinking that rewatching Black Sheep when, at the end when Chris Farley's got the gun to his head. I was like, what if he accidentally killed him? That was like a big third act twist of Black Sheep.
But this is when Kevin Costner's like, no, I don't want to be. She's like, but the movie's already very, very long.
People's bums are getting tired in the seats.
But we have to get to Tom Petty. We have to get to him.
Dude, Tom Petty is checking his watch like, hey, man, anyone going to get to my part anytime soon?
Oh, man,
so
I
weird.
thought I was going to be in a movie, man, and I don't see a camera anywhere.
What's this? You remaking Misery? In the middle of your movie, you're remaking Misery?
Dude, seriously, because he's like laid up thanks to this gun wound or whatever, and he's like, yep, I can't walk, so the movie's got to stop dead for 30
It
minutes.
is pretty weird that Tom Petty plays himself in this.
Yes.
It's so silly.
And as a kid, when I saw this, and that there's that scene where it's like, "Oh, I know you, you're famous" or whatever. I'm like, as a kid, I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" I was like, "Is this a joke? What is happening?"
I mean, I think he's probably playing a former rock star. I don't
No,
think
but
it's
I
Tom.
think
it's himself.
I think
Listen
that
to
I think it's winky enough that it's himself because like it's really like I know you, you're famous, and Tom Petty pretty much looks at the camera and is like, yeah, I was.
Think
once.
about the rest of this movie.
Sure.
What do you think it decided to do? The stupid thing or the not stupid
Yeah, you
thing?
know what? It's 1,000% Tom Petty playing
Yes,
it. It
which-
should be Tom Petty, not Mayor of Bridgetown.
Yes,
and Tom Petty as himself.
He's got the "Don't Come Around Here No More" hat on. Like, just really do it.
You know, the thing about the mail is the waiting is the hardest part.
He is a fucking gift at the end of this
Oh,
movie.
man.
This is like
I've
love
been
him.
waiting.
I love
I
him.
knew
I
he
love
was
him.
in the movie, and I was like, I love Tom Petty.
it's like when you're playing Mario 64
Yeah.
and you're underwater, you know, and you're like, oh fuck, the last slice of my life pie is blinking red. And then you get to the surface and there's Tom Petty in this movie, and all of a sudden your lungs go, and you just get this whole new lease on life because Tom Petty's there for way too fucking short of a time.
But no, we got to just fuck around in this cabin. We should say this is we misspoke earlier. Olivia Williams notices the mark of 8 on him and tries to kill him here.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's
I
like,
forgot
oh,
about
you're-
that.
Right? Yes.
And this is what he says.
Got a lot of movie to remember here.
She's like, he does, you know, like he cutes his way out of it. He takes a spoon. I was like, don't make me use this. I was like, ha.
And
then-
this is more of him being aggressively unfunny.
And then she's like, I know you probably can't tell because no one in the movie can, but I'm pregnant. And she's
Pregnant.
Well, doesn't she? Isn't it an argument? Isn't he like, well, you laid with Will Patton?
well, that's what he said. He's like, she's like, how do you know it's mine? But well, you were fucking Will Patton. And she's like, well, no, he tried to rape me a bunch of times, but couldn't.
Thanks for the assumption, though.
But then just beat me a lot. So thanks for that, dude.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
I love you so much.
she, you know, I guess it's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation here. But like, there's that part where, you know, it's like winter, we're getting in for a long winter here, and he's fucking bitching about not wanting to be in the movie anymore, demanding the story stop dead for minutes on end.
Yeah.
And she takes the horse outside and kills it, like,
Yes.
and it's for food, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yes,
Sure.
because he was complaining about the food.
There are two of you That's a lot of fucking horror.
I was thinking about this, and I was trying to work my way around it. I was like, maybe it's super cold. Maybe the atomic wars or something made that winter really cold that you could just throw it in, like, I don't know, a hole in the ground, and it'll be fine to preserve.
But you've lost your like mode of transportation, mode of carry.
Yep.
You know, because like the horse,
it's worth more than just like 3 dinners.
Precisely. And like it kind of reminded me of how there's all the animals in the house in Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah.
When the horse
is in there,
walks into the cabin dragging Costner like on the little like you know slab behind it or whatever. I was like, there's a horse in that house. So that horse is murdered. Yes. Oh, you bear the mark of 8. It's like, okay.
There's a little conflict there. And then if she starts like placing the bowl around the house so that he has to get up because he's a lazy.
Literally get off your ass and make this movie, Kevin Costner.
Exactly.
I didn't make this movie. I didn't want this movie to be 3 hours. You did. Get up.
Finally, she falls into the river and is screaming, the postman, help me," or whatever the fuck.
God. The postman, start the movie, The Postman again.
Which, like, how do you not
change the reel?
How do you not establish a shorter name or you know some type of pleasantry with the woman you're living with for so long?
Exactly. What should I call you? And I'm not going to call you the postman.
No, it's the postman.
Fuck me, the postman. Fuck me, the postman.
Well, my first name is the.
Yeah. Also, is this a like? She purposely throws herself in this river,
it's a good
and
question.
it's like, hey, if I die, at least I'm not the postman anymore.
Maybe.
She's doing a Lois Lane in Superman 2, just jumping off the
Niagara.
Yeah.
He hands her another hour of screen time, and she gets right out of the river real quick.
So then she burns the house down because
Smart
it's
move.
time to move on with there's movie out there we have to get to.
There's a great thing where like he's trying to like bullshit and delay some more. There's one scene where he's just like, "Oh, Abby, did you know that we once sent a man to the moon and he walked on the moon?" And she's just like, "Who gives a shit? Look how we live now." And I was like, precisely.
Yes. Come on, Tang it. Come on.
Oh yeah, his Tang joke.
Come on.
Yeah, aren't you
Always-
missing Tang?
Aren't you
That's
charmed by me?
No, I am not. And then in the woods, as they go off, because now we don't have a fucking horse. I'm glad you ate that. Glad you shit that horse out fucking 3 weeks ago.
Absolutely. Get walking, pregnant lady. That's your fault.
Did you even make weapons out of the bones? Come
Exactly.
on now.
That'd be cool if they were walking around in bone armor.
Yes, please. Come on.
Or pelts and shit. You know, there's a lot you can do.
Something.
Tan some leather, dude.
She does kind of have basically a great thing here where she's like, all right, you know, the pass has cleared. It's springtime now. We can keep going. She's like, so basically, like, you're going to find me a safe place to live with the baby, and then you can get the fucking stepping, asshole. I don't want you around raising this kid.
And I will say, this is the appearance of probably my favorite sweater in the movie, the black and with the white freckles on it, or whatever you want to call it, that he's wearing. For
It's
the
all right.
The
Yeah.
dongle.
But here's my question, Eric. How much of, because you mentioned it last time, this movie is sweater porn, and it absolutely is. How much does that sway your rating of this film?
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's a extra half star for the sweaters. There's that sweater. Then there's like a yellow dark number as well later on.
Yeah.
Very
Larenz
nice.
Tate has a fabulous turtleneck sweater. It's like kind of ruby red.
And we're not even doing the Matrix thing where we're like stretching it out a little bit. Like we're
Right.
not even doing that.
There's
There's like
gotta
really
be-
great like LL Bean shit.
There
Expensive.
has to be a new economy going on. A lot of old ladies sewing or something.
Sure.
Well, Ringo Starr has started the economy back up. Eric.
Oh, he does say that it's Richard Starkey of Maine.
Yes.
LL Bean's back, folks.
Oh,
that's right.
there you go.
Yes.
But this is when they run into Ponytail, who's the male carrier. Like, what? You're carrying the mail? And she's like, let me show you where I'm from, which is
Right.
now Mail City or whatever the fuck
And they
they
say
live in.
so- yeah, totally. She's got some line though where it's like,
And this girl's awful.
yeah, it's his daughter.
Uh-huh.
That's why she's awful.
It's terrible. But she's like, he says something about like, you know, who started all this or something like that. And she fucking might as well look right in the goddamn camera and just goes, the greatest man who ever lived. And I was like,
my father.
don't break your neck sucking your own cock, dude. I can't even believe that line.
Oh no, he's not breaking. No, that he is a master. He's not nothing.
It's so impressive.
he does it with no bruises, no
agility.
aches, nothing.
It's just,
Unreal.
it's incredible, man. Because
It's
like
wild.
it's just like even Jesus at least gets crucified at the
Yeah.
end. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that guy had some fucking flaws.
Yeah, totally. And he got what's coming to him.
Oh, think about just like two letter
Mounted off to the Roman government. Things happen.
shoving a letter opener through his hands, each of them. Great.
There you go. Some pain. That would be nice.
Yeah.
So Larenz Tate is like the postmaster now of this like army of postal workers, and he's reading a fake letter from Kevin Costner, and it's like, oh yeah, Larenz Tate tells me you guys are doing great. Keep up the good work. Love the Postman.
Yeah.
I'm alive. Love the Postman.
And then there's some dude who just goes, holy shit, it's the Postman. Like he starts walking through the crowd. The crowd parts much like
it's the dumbest thing because I think somebody like he's like, and P.S. and whatever it is, keep on keeping on.
Right.
And then someone's like, who knows what P.S. means? We're just a bunch of fucking Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome babies.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
thought that was Larenz Tate trying to do like teacher moment. Like I also serve as your educator.
and he raises his hand and the fucking crowd parts like Moses.
Holy shit, it's the Postman.
Yeah. And then he's like, he resists the call to action yet again. He loves resisting things. And it's just like, what are you doing? This is crazy. We can't do this. And he sees all the leaflets they're distributing, like to end tyranny or whatever.
Yeah,
you
right.
spelled tyranny wrong.
Oh yeah.
Which comes up again later.
It sure does.
Yeah,
But
stay tuned for the next few hours, folks.
And even still, because he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I lied, and I impersonated the president too, but I know the president still exists, right? And like, whatchamacallit, Costner's like, yeah, and he might ask me I'll have to leave pretty soon. He's like, but you'll stay until then, right? And it's like, eventually Larenz Tate has to go up to this. If this is a movie, he has to go up to him and be
Big
like,
if.
it was all bullshit. There was no many. Like, that's how movies have to work.
It's storytelling.
Yeah.
It's just basic storytelling. And here's the guy. Yeah, he's like the acolyte who's now like risen on all this like bullshit. And like for him to like come to that realization, like that's a crushing thing for a character. And then the movie just is totally uninterested in it. Because again, feet over the back of your head. Womp, 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 womp.
Instead of actual conflict with our main characters, let's get to know some of the new faces around here.
Jesus Christ.
And this is where we get the one Vietnam veteran. He pulls him aside. He's like, how old are you? And the guy says like 68 or 69 or something. And he's like, can you even ride? Like, you can't even be a postman. But I know things or whatever. And he's like, and this eventually comes to like, one point, this dude is smoking pot, playing with a CB radio, which is funny.
Oh, yeah.
But eventually we see that Vietnam veterans do matter, God damn it.
Yeah.
Because he learned some battle tactics from the Viet Cong, and they can use it against the whole...
And they do what Kevin Costner tells them to, so they have to be good.
And also, this movie like has to stop dead to remind you to thank a veteran. Like, all right, like we know.
We know.
Beautiful.
I'm surprised we don't get another one.
That is
honestly.
that is the age signifier I was talking about before. There's another funny one. It might be like after this when he meets some of these younger kids. He puts his hat backwards.
Right.
When I was a kid, because he's a 90s kid.
That's
basically.
right. He is. Yeah.
Only 90s kids would remember this.
Yes. He puts his hat backwards.
Oh no, dude, it's even worse, dude. 74, he's a Gen Xer.
That's right.
Yeah.
So he doesn't believe in selling out.
I remember the film Singles. It's the last movie I saw in theaters before the bomb dropped.
Everybody talks about Nevermind, and none of them talk about Bleach.
I always thought Reality Bites was the name of a movie, but it turned out to be true.
Let me tell you, Ford Lincoln Mercury, about Dave Eggers again. Please don't. Please don't.
There's a great thing here, dude. Costner totally shut down because like Abby's walking through the town all sexily and whatnot, and he's like, "Hey, Abby, I'm living at the post office. You want to move in with me?" And she's like, "Get fucked." And like she walks away, and he goes, "Oh, so much for the uniform theory." Again, abysmal comic timing.
It's a postman uniform, you dolt. Like, Jesus Christ.
And it's also, like everything else, smells like shit.
Yes.
This is when he starts to deliver the mail with the kids. There's a grand sequence.
Sure.
This is after it's like, put your hat backs, kids. And like all like 10 kids ride out and all the horses. The kids go in different directions. This is when we get the little boy with the little, it was a little boy with a letter. And this is like, you get choked up just, oh my God, it's a little boy with a letter with so much hope in his eyes.
25 minutes long, this scene. I don't know.
It takes fucking forever.
Goes on and on. He passes him once,
which is
turns around and comes back because he's going to suck his dick twice in one reel.
Here's the thing. it's way funnier if it's the postman just icing this kid out.
Yes.
I ride by at 3 p.m. If your little hand ain't out on the lawn, you're not getting the mail sent.
He's turning around. He comes by. The kid has the letter out. He just pulls a baseball bat from his back.
Or he just tramples him with the horse. And then it's like, oh, shit. I better get out of here.
Dude, and here's the thing.
Turns around and rides towards him. And rides towards him, grabs that little hand.
We just do this slow motion
The
shit
slow motion's so bad.
as if it's like a fucking stunt with Tom Cruise and we're trying to catch someone falling out of an airplane.
But
But it's just like, oh.
It's the majesty of the male, and I understand like that's what the whole movie is. But you've told me I've seen the majesty of the male. I've seen Von Bargen cry over the letter about his sister. I've seen the old lady cry about this
The
letter.
power of communication.
I got it. I don't need this little kid. I just got it.
It's just so he can have his little boy be in the movie.
I also pretty much have enough locations at this point. I have enough little shitty towns. He goes to some other place.
Yes.
Names it Elvis, Oregon, or whatever. This is where we get
the Sky Tower. He has to go up all the steps.
The Sky Tower. But eventually, I think this is also the town where the
murder
army
takes place.
comes and they gank him from the roof. They shoot him all from the roof,
Yeah,
which
it's
is
pretty
cool.
cool.
Which is cool.
But yeah, so I do like this. Like he's like, all right, what's the name of this town? And the person's like, there's no name. And he's like, all right, you're Elvis, Oregon. And by the way, this staircase shit ain't gonna work. If you want your letters picked up, drop your mail off down there at the bottom of the staircase. Then we'll talk, which is pretty
it's
funny.
like a crazy mountain staircase situation.
Then we go back to Pineview, you guys, and this is the fucking Redbone cover part. We're just, it's a big fucking, like, he comes back and it's like, see, Von Bargen's like, you have planted hope in these people's lives again. The garden of these people's lives, he's like, wow, I have to admit, things are getting better. And I was like, shut up.
But and he's dancing with Abby here under these Christmas lights, which I mean could obviously be used for anything else.
True. And a younger girl does approach him to ask for a dance. He gives her a fuck you.
Yeah,
fuck
his
off.
daughter. Isn't it his daughter?
It's the daughter. He's gonna fuck his daughter.
He's gonna fuck his daughter.
No, he said no to it, but the daughter wanted to fuck.
The daughter
him.
wanted to fuck her father.
Right.
The daughter just wanted to dance. You fucking perverts. Now listen.
No, they want seed.
Because
Plainview's a buzz about this good semen that's been riding through.
Here's the thing: like you see Olivia Williams like sashay through the town square, and again, nary a belly bump to be found.
Sure.
And then this girl comes up and is like, "Oh, do you want to dance?" And I was like, how much time has passed? Is this the baby? Is the baby now like 14 years old?
Are we old boying?
And it's great because it's like, come and get your love, White Fight Rock cover. And that is set to this other kid who's another mail carrier getting murdered by one of Will Patton's goods.
Oh, Jesus.
This looks pretty good.
Everyone's dancing, having the fucking whitest time you've ever seen.
Yes, sir.
And it's just intercut with this dude this like young man on a horse trying to outrun these guys, get shot in the back off this horse.
Now, for the rest of the movie, at this point, Will Patton is dressed like the sheriff of Nottingham.
Yes.
The rest of it, just this black pirate shirt.
Yeah, but he's also got this sometimes, not always, this Wild Hogs-esque hat that he's wearing.
Is it a bandana?
Yeah, or is it like one of those weird leather motorcycle daddy hats?
I thought it was a hat.
Yeah.
Daddy hat. Maybe.
Daddy hat. That's because
there's no
leather
bill.
pants,
It's just flat against his
But
head.
Travolta wears that in Wild Hogs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that's right.
I need to get a look at his hat, Steve.
But yeah, so around here is where the old timer is like, also it's this is an interesting thing. He's like, I worked on the Galileo space station, and he's like, right now there's a bunch of skeletons. It's the second time skeletons play into the story. It's like, right now there's a bunch of skeletons up there looking down, laughing at us.
We've taken over all your satellites. We control it now.
We control the information, and the information is about skeletons.
No more updates from you, Russia. It's all skeleton news.
Soon enough, we will take over the entire planet.
We will no longer do news about those meat bags. Only us, the skeleton.
This is great. They could parlay with the guys from Plan 9 from Outer Space, and they can finally raise the dead on Earth.
All that unkempt flesh, fat, and organs must go.
Be careful out there. It is cold. Your bones might shatter. I don't care about what anybody else thinks. I care about my skeleton friends.
The thing too with the old man smoking the J right here, it's like this fucking Kevin Costner just cannot help himself, right? Because like this old man, listen, the world has ended. This guy's fixing a radio, just trying to fucking suck on this spliff, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, keep that out of the eyes of the kids, huh? And I was like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, what are you
that.
talking about?
What do you think they've seen, Kevin?
totally.
Try to piece it together. They've seen their friends murdered and burned to death.
Oh,
Calm down.
I saw my mom's face get fucked by a rat, but I guess I won't smoke pot.
Sure.
Yeah,
Why
have
not?
you ever bet a 16-year-old fucking puffs on some weed to escape the fucking apocalypse?
Oh, yes. You know, I watched my 7-year-old innocent sister be eaten alive by wolves. However, nothing more horrifying than marijuana.
Well, you know what they were? They were weed wolves. They were wolves that were on weed.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, and
Reefer
that's-
madness on those wolves. That's what happened there.
And they just took her apart.
But yeah, so now like the stakes are getting higher. Like the news of like some mail carriers comes back to them that they've been getting killed.
We got
Right.
a row of dead postmen hanging like the fucking Lincoln traders.
that's right.
And this is where Ford Lincoln Mercury sends a wagon of the dead of the troops back to Bethlehem.
because first is the big siege on those guys because basically
Sure.
he's like, what else did you learn in Vietnam? And they go, I'll tell you how I do it. And then like the next scene is all these kids brutally murdering these guys.
It's the best scene in the movie, man. These
Yes,
fucking
yes.
pricks are getting taken out left and right. The bodies are piling up.
Yeah.
And he does, he tells Ford, he's like, hey man, just dispose of these. I don't want anyone finding out what happens. It'll be a mystery what happened to these kids to these guys, because I don't want the retribution on this town. And this is what Larenz Tate, puts postage due on a cart and throws it at.
Badass, dude.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is the post office can stand no more.
So then, of course, this comes to Plainview being under attack and
Yes.
the death of Kruger coming up shortly.
Well, there is also, by the way, Scott Bairstow, not such a great guy. Scott, you look at that. That guy is.
The name sort of rang a bell, but I couldn't. What
He was
what's
like a
his
teen
deal?
something or other. He was like on Party of Five for a hot minute.
don't know.
Wild country.
Wild
Devin Sawa. The
Wild Boys or something.
I think it's like
Wild
Wild Country
Hearts?
or something
Yeah.
like that.
And what was his
Wild
crime?
America.
Wild America, nice one.
Okay, yeah, you're dancing around the crimes he perpetrated in real life.
No, he was
shoot it.
He
Say
like
it.
kind of maybe did something with his partner's daughter, kind of a scenario.
Dude.
And he had to like
Really?
admit to it in court. He's
Boy.
like, "But I didn't do it. I didn't do it." And it's like, "Yeah, you admitted to it in court, though, huh?"
Ooh,
That's
Scott
some
Bairstow.
thick
He's
white
like,
gravy.
My man has not had a credit in 20 years, so don't worry about it.
Sure, okay.
Yeah, but he's amazing in this movie because he comes up to Kevin Costner and he's like, "Hi, Kevin Costner. I'm in this movie." And he's like, "Do I know you?" And that comes to nothing.
Bad editing. Bad editing.
And then he does nothing else for 24 minutes.
Yes.
Yep.
And then he betrays Kevin Costner
Sure
like he
does.
was fucking there the whole time. Like, no,
Right.
he's been out of this movie.
Yep.
Yeah. Who cares?
You know, I think I'm tired of the Postman. I think we've gotten there. I'm kind of tired of talking about it.
Really sad von Bargen line, like right before he's executed. He's holding letters in his hand, and he just goes, "Ride, Postman, ride!"
Shut the
and they
fuck
just shoot
up.
this dude in the head.
Meanwhile, the Postman is like 60 yards away and
Yeah.
like
Doing nothing.
is holding everyone down because they're like, "Let's go fight." He's like, "We can't fight. We'll never win." Meanwhile, you have this mark of 8 on your arm that you're going to use later, like 20 minutes later. This one of the kids like, "Oh, von Bargen is my dad for some
Yeah.
reason."
Yep.
And he's just like, "I'm going to watch my dad get murdered for the Postman."
Yes.
Well,
And then later, wouldn't he be like, "Yo, dude, why didn't you do that like 2 weeks ago when my dad was being executed?"
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Just
What-
go down there and beat the shit out of Will Patton.
what seemed like cowardice was actually me saving myself so that I could challenge Will Patton. I mean, the scene watching von Bargen get executed. I mean, it's literally the Red Dawn scene with the kids watching from afar.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Oh, shit.
It's
It
literally the
actually
same
is,
fucking
yeah.
scene,
Yeah,
and he's
you're
just
right.
like, "No, we
And
must save ourselves."
This is also where the Postman is telling Ford Lincoln Mercury that, like, this is why you don't send bodies back like that.
Yeah.
This is what it brought. And he's like, no, it doesn't doesn't matter. It's not my fault that they're all dying. It's because the world is a shitty place.
He says it's Bethlehem's fault.
Yeah,
but it is kind of your fault.
It's kind of both your fault.
You can be both.
Exactly. I mean, you could also say that you could blame it on the dude who dropped the bomb or whatever happened. Like your dad eventually died 17 years later because
they're all on a list. It's a very long list.
Costner does disband the post office here. He's like, listen,
the post office is breaking up.
Only one album, dude. That's it.
The reunion show coming up soon.
That's
Ben Gibbard, come back here.
He's like, I got a letter from President Real Starkey here, and he says, thanks, but no thanks. Stop dying.
Oh, yeah. He says that, he couldn't bear another postal employee to die.
He also says that I have really good semen. If anyone's looking.
Also, he signed it off with, it don't come easy. It don't come easy. Huh.
It is funny the way he does say that this fake letter ends, though, because it just says, God bless you all. The president. Like, come on. Did in that moment he forgot the name that he gave this fake
President Stanky? No. President Starkey.
President John was it John Lennon? Did I say Lennon? I meant Lennon.
What was Harrison's first name? God damn it.
So long.
He winds up this is when I don't understand this part. Larenz Tate comes up to me. He's like, hey, oh my God, that's not from the president. And this is when you think that's going to happen, but it doesn't.
Nope.
And he's like, you let us all down by breaking up the post office and blah, blah, blah. And like if it has to end, then I'm going to end. Because he has this like surrender letter to Bethlehem. And he's like, whoever delivers is going to die. And like Larenz Tate's like, I'm going to do it. And Costner's like, all right, man, I'll see you later, dude. Thanks so much, dude.
Yep.
Yes, he's just totally fine with it. Well, he's going to be a father now. There's nothing more precious than that.
That's right.
And then like the assassination attempt here starts. And he's like, Bethlehem's not a man. You're not a man. Look there, that kid walking off to his death for no reason. That is a man.
That is a man. By the way, if you do make it back alive, see if you can grab some food on the way back. But you're probably gonna get shot in the head.
He does at least come clean to Abby here, because he says like now all of a sudden he owns the baby again.
Yeah,
and he's just
nice.
like, I want to see my child grow up in safety or whatever. There's a great line here where Costner goes, the general is a fucking lunatic, which is a great line.
He says, I got my thing off a skeleton and I've lied the whole time. She's like, yeah, I figured it was something like that, which is kind of funny that she's ahead of it. And this is when Larenz Tate and some other kid are about to get executed by General Bethlehem. But then Bethlehem and Scott Bairstow shows back up and he's like, whoops, couldn't kill him, General. Hey, I'm in the movie.
This is he says the general's a fucking lunatic to Scott Bairstow, and then he's like, "You're a better man than Bethlehem, Luke. I've seen it." Like all of a sudden, this dude, he just
been on many adventures. I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm telling you, TV series.
I just remembered Scott Bairstow plays the kid in that early X-Files episode where like his parents or something are exploiting him because he's got like healing powers or some shit. He's the kid who does like the healing in that episode.
Totally.
Early 90s, so the timeline still checks out as far as the career goes.
I know this man. He's a good man. We've made hair soup together. We've chopped up fingers for finger sandwiches.
His biggest thing, I think I just found it in my notes, he is the titular Tuck in Tuck Everlasting. That was his big
there we go.
thing.
Yeah.
Before he ruined his life and many others. Apparently, I'm just learning that today.
And he rides, the Bairstow's like, oh, General, but don't you want to keep him for leverage? And the General's like, I will keep him for leverage, and shoots the other guy in the head.
Oh, right, yeah.
But this also inspired, like, because it's they found two postmen. That one is for like Mercury with the letter, and the other is some guy named Clark from the like reunited Republic of California.
Yes,
and it's like, oh, the postman's message is spreading, and it's like, you guys don't know each other.
Yeah, that's
I'm going to be besieged by disgruntled postal workers.
But like, there's a moment, right, to show for the movie to show the scope, right, like the reach of Costner's accidental message that he's spread like throughout but like it's just this quick like. Yeah, reunited California, Blamtown. This dude shot in the head. None of that scope is addressed ever again.
Somehow Gavin Newsom's still alive. Still running that place.
So we get to Bridge City,
Woo!
and here is
That's my
Tom
guy.
Petty himself. This actually reminded me, because it's the same level of weirdness as when Peter Fonda shows up in Escape from L.A.
Right, which
And
takes
you're
place
just like,
the same year as this movie,
oh, that's
2013.
right.
Oh, really?
But you're just like, Peter Fonda, you're not for this world, And it's the same thing with Petty. You're just like, the hell are you doing here?
Yeah.
I've been cooling my dick here for 2 hours and 40 minutes for you to fucking show up, man.
And
What the hell?
He lets him in, and then there's another knock on the door. They're looking for some guy called the Postman.
I had to challenge James Taylor for this spot. He
Killed
went
him
down.
good. Total coward.
I love, and then another little boy.
I
He's like,
hate this delivery, but please do it.
who's the Postman?
It's worse than that. It's like, what's the Postman? There's no handle of the English language whatsoever. What's the Postman?
The best thing about it, though, is like the crowd parts.
Of course it does.
And everyone's looking back, but like the reaction that these people are giving is as if this little kid, instead of saying "hold man," he instead just went "suck my dick." It's like the whole town turns like, the fuck did that little kid say?
Hey, what,
Excuse me?
Olivia Williams like, you don't know what a postman is?
Well, aren't you just a stupid little thing?
And then-
your stupid American parlance, he's the mailman.
Tom Petty's like, you're the postman, aren't you?
He's like, you're famous. And we're like, yeah. Okay, great.
That's great. Olivia Williams also rancid line right here. She goes, "You give out hope like it was candy in your pocket."
Oh, God.
shit.
I know he does. I've watched the movie for 2 hours and 35 minutes.
I started it last week. I get it.
All right, so let's get moving here. So he's at the zip line.
Yeah, this little cable car scene.
Yeah,
to get him out of
Kevin
town.
Costner's only. I think that the Postman's only in this movie for the zip line. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think that's the only reason he's only doing this thing for the zip line.
That's right, dude. We kept trying to send the postman home, but he keeps sticking around for the zip line.
I don't know if it's true or not, but there was some trivia about Costner actually doing this stunt, and the cage was being pulled by a helicopter.
Okay,
for this.
Really?
It seems like
It doesn't look that way.
it looks like
doesn't look
the
like
green
that way.
screen is green screen.
Yeah.
It does.
Yep.
Maybe he put it on there himself. But
Kev, come to bed, darling. Hang on, just adding more fake trivia to the postman page, dear.
That Cruz thinks he's hot shit.
I'm writing about the loving spoonful being about ejaculate. I'm going to put that in there as well.
Patty's got a funny line here, though, where he's like, "Don't tell anybody, but sometimes I just ride this thing for the hell of it." And was I understanding the movie right here? So why he's in this thing is because he's supposed to go off to a bunch of different towns and recruit more people.
Well, this is the first time the movie realizes what a montage is. They're like, hey, we could do a lot, but actually, it's the worst time to do a montage.
Yeah.
Because I got no idea who he's talking to. I don't really know.
Resisted the call so much, and I guess it's like he's realizing he can't run away from it. But you kind of don't really get the scene. I guess that baby going nah, 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 was supposed to be like, I can't run from it. I'm going to go face this.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you don't really get it. You just have to infer that on your own.
And you hear him giving speeches, but you don't see him give the
You
speech.
don't see anything.
No.
It's just him in this fucking stupid zipline cart. And then the next scene is like this massive fucking post office army riding over the hill. And Will Patton's just like, see, morale is a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I guess he built this army up in 3 seconds.
And here I am 2 hours and 49 minutes in. I'm like, you know what? At least it'll be a huge battle scene. I'm like, that's kind of cool. Like just all these postal people against all these orange fuckers.
No, but then he has to say the bumper sticker line of like, wouldn't it be great if the assholes who started the wars would fight them and finish them on their own or whatever?
Yeah.
So that's where we get this whole meeting.
And he's like, oh yeah, I have the rule of 8. I get to challenge you, and if I win, then I ruin your clan, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, that's great. Again, why didn't you do that fucking a year ago?
And somehow now is when Will Patton magically remembers him, and he's like, by gum, it's Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember the beginning of the movie.
And he allows it. And this is where we get a pretty cool stunt that is exactly like Mission Impossible 2.
Yep, absolutely. We're it's an actual horse joust.
Yes.
Horses running at each other. They launch their bodies off a horse. I don't know how they're doing that.
But
and grab each other and fall to the ground.
And that's the problem is like, that's really cool. but then the next 20 minutes or the next movement of the fight is just them rolling around on top of each other.
It's Kevin Costner giving Will Patton a noogie.
Is slowly writhing on each other,
and
Absolutely
it's boring.
sucks.
It's boring fighting. It's not like real. I need
choreograph something.
Yes, kick him in somewhere, but no, it's just like strangulation and stuff. And eventually, the postman's like, no, there's been enough killing, and of course, Bethlehem's going to try to kill him one last time. But we get a good moment for Colonel Getty, the dickless wonder, shoots Bethlehem.
Ballless wonder.
He's still got full shaft.
Yes.
Sorry, sir. Shoots Will
Thank
Patton.
you for your service.
Shoots Will Patton dead, and it's like there will be peace.
Yes.
And eventually the world will be 1998 again.
There is, and I don't know if I don't remember it, and I didn't rewatch it for this, but the trailer for this movie, if it didn't, it's a mistake. He should have the line in the trailer where he goes, I believe, this is Kevin Costner, he goes, I believe in the United States, and then headbutts Will Patton.
Well, that's because Will Patton is about to win, and he's like, because you don't believe in anything. You don't have any beliefs. He's like, I believe in the United States of America. Woo!
Oh yeah, fireworks going off in the theater.
The fucking
Someone's cooking
uncles.
hot dogs.
The uncles and grandpas going fucking ape shit.
Another dumb reason to put it out in December.
Yes.
I mean, if you're going to even risk it in a big time slot, 4th of July, baby.
Or even Memorial Day, dude. Yeah.
Memorial Day, baby.
Absolutely.
Or fucking do November Veterans Day. Do it.
Right, yes.
I get the feeling they weren't in any mood to give him any help him out after the 2 screenings. Then he's like, no. The Misery movie stays in the bigger movie.
Wait, so are you positing, Chris Cabin, that Warner Brothers was pulling the producers on Kevin Costner, and it's like, let's just keep giving him rope. Just give him enough rope to fucking hang this directing career.
If you know it's gonna cut, we were not at the age of maybe it's a tax break and we don't have to fucking put this thing out.
Sure.
We're not there yet. So what at that point, be like, put it out put it out in December. Maybe
Christmas Day.
Maybe these fucking critics will like it, these idiots.
They did not.
They did not at all.
So we don't watch anything except for Olivia Williams, with the baby, and then she's like, your daddy will be here soon enough. I just got a letter from him. And he's like, the mail's pretty slow. Guess I got to do something about that. And I'm like, dude, just roll credits. Just roll credits.
Just not more jokes. Not more jokes.
We still have a jump to the future to get to.
That's what they do. Is that right after that, the Newton Howard is swooning all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Yes, they're at St. Rose, Oregon, the place that he was always trying to escape to. The statue is unveiled, and we get the little speech from the daughter about how great her father was, and she still doesn't know his name.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid.
Do you just take the last? It should be like Hope Postman. Name's Postman.
I just want to say, for the record, I did make out with Chris O'Donnell during Fried Green Tomato shooting.
We can't underline enough that this girl's name. Let's name our baby Hope.
Terrible.
Hope.
Terrible.
Hope.
The best part about this movie is she grows up to be played by Mary Stuart Masterson, which was a nice uncredited surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love her.
And it's fully 1998 again. We got all the Honda Accords.
You got this dude wearing that brimless shirt, like a button-down shirt. That's the kid who's the guy's like, that little boy is me. Is it? No, it can't be. It literally, no one saw what that kid looked like. And even if Kevin Costner told his daughter Hope about this one time, I was on a dirt road, this little kid, I walked. It's not even a great story. As a story, it's like, I was riding and this kid, I kind of went past him, and then I came back again.
You would remember every second, every detail of that experience, Steve, because that was the first of, I would like to presume many times, the postman, the magical messianic figure that he is, learned how to manipulate time and slow it down. It's like, oh, of course, you have to make the statue with the little kid. The first time I figured out slow-mo.
I do like the idea of him being a scammer, though.
Yeah,
this guy being like, yes, I was that child. Would you like me to make a speech for a little monetary fee there?
But if he wasn't, I guess it would make sense. Like if you met Paul Bunyan,
you'd
be like, well, yeah, dude, he was big at an ox.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, back in the 1920s, sure.
No, this is the new 1920s, my friend.
Like you said, it's 1998. Blur's back on tour, according to you.
Oh my God. Well, then it's coffee and TV for everyone, Chris.
His story.
It's just like, yeah, sure. Have the little inspiring statue of him, taking a letter from a kid, but it is like a photorealistic reproduction of that very same child actor, and it's just dumb.
It's really dumb.
It's just too much.
And then we actually have to replay it because
in case anyone forgot or was in the bathroom during that time.
It was 3 days ago, so I get it.
And then we end on the kid's smile, a little boy's smiling face.
Oh.
A little boy who learned a little something about the United States, America.
Little Denver Costner.
He starts like laughing at the end.
Yes.
And clearly that was like maybe like
cut.
Like something going on there where Kevin Costner's like, all right, Billy, keep whatever. Like you need to just fade out by that point. Or whatever. Get the James Nudist Howard going. Nude scene Howard.
Nudist. I like to see it better.
Hey guys. And that is the end of this movie. We'll go around the horn here. Chris Cabin, final thoughts?
No, don't do it. If I didn't have to do it for this show, I wouldn't have done it my entire life. It's 3 hours of Kevin Costner. Nobody needs it. And as I said a couple times, he's sucking his own dick the whole time. And it doesn't stop. For the 3 hours, it doesn't stop.
Marathon suck session.
Even when he has to admit he did something wrong, it's actually the best thing he could have done. Oh, fuck it.
Steve Sadak.
Yeah, I agree with my esteemed colleague here. Never again. I think that like a 3 hour runtime, you really need to. I would love that there would be a permit you had to get from me that you could have to that you're allowed to do it or not. But I just. It's not the self-seriousness. It is the dick sucking. It is like, because the self-seriousness is bad. The runtime is bad. The plot isn't so bad. Like the story, like the
good story.
The kernel of, society is an important thing, which I do think is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and like, the idea that you would miss certain things and certain things could bring society back. Even the smallest thing like letter carrying. Sure. But the Kevin Costner-ness of it all. No, thank you.
Bad stuff. Hardcore not recommend for me. I came in with an open mind because I'd never seen it before. And again, I think like a lot of what you see out there about this movie is like taking it a little far. It's a bad vanity project. It's not, I guess I would say, unwatchable. We've covered worse things here, but like that runtime is abysmal. And again, it's just that's also a product of the vanity of it all. So no, it's just a huge gosh dang mistake. Final word, Eric Siska.
Okay. Light recommend. It's too long. You guys are right in what you're saying. Absolutely terrible vanity project. I do like that it feels like a bad, trashy sci-fi novel, which is good.
Yeah.
Yes. I because I read a bunch of crappy sci-fi novels in the 90s. So it kind of it scratches an itch in a way. I can understand never watching it or never watching it again. But if there's like a Dad for Noon or the worst hangover of your life and you're going to sleep through the misery portion, maybe check it out.
Yeah, no, that's fair, folks. So that is going to do it, gang. This is a wrap on season 13.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Adios.
unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
But never fear, all throughout August, we're going to be dropping some live shows from our various tours throughout the last year or
VHS
so.
trailer game continuing throughout the summer.
Yes. There's a VHS trailer game on one of the middle episodes. In the last episode of the summer, we'll have the finale of the VHS trailer game, in which you will find out who wins the trailer game and what episode we'll be doing for the season premiere in September. A redo episode. We know what it is. It's going to be pretty exciting.
I'm very excited about the redo episode.
Do not sleep on those live episodes this coming month. We've recorded stuff for them that is in studio in addition to the episode, like the VHS trailer game. So definitely tune in throughout the summer and Patreon, of course.
And Patreon, we have. I'm so I can announce this right now.
Do it up.
I'm
dude.
so excited. One of my favorite. One of the reasons I wanted to do We Love Movies is to ever talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie from 1990.
That's right.
We did it. That's going to come out next week-ish, something like that.
Yeah, the beginning of August, as we were recording this in the middle of July, I will say sometime around the very beginning of August, that episode will come out.
To tie in with the Mutant Mayhem, we recorded that episode. It's super fun. You're going to love it.
Absolutely.
Yes, we're going to do a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles AD, a cartoon thing. We're going to talk about that.
Yes.
There's a lot of fresh in-studio content throughout the summer, folks. On the Gleep Glossary, we'll be talking about the classic Star Wars character, Galandro.
Of course.
Oh, right.
Don't forget
My
to listen
king.
to our Han Solo episode if you want to hear the beginnings of what we will be talking about in terms of Galandro.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you'll want to hear that. We'll also have another Melrose 210, as we always do. Another. I am just assuming, we haven't done it yet, but I'm assuming it's James Walsh just fucking his life up all over again.
And we're still in these beautiful, beautiful summer break episodes of 90210.
Yes.
So this will match up nice perfectly. And you got to love it.
You know, and look, we say we're taking a break, and we do physically do that, but we still put out so much fucking content.
Oh,
folks.
yeah. Yeah. No, it's just we do it all in advance,
Yes.
you see. And
I
then
mean,
just
we
sort
even
of-
have another full movie episode coming out in August on Patreon, the once in a lifetime
Yes.
on Killer Profile.
That's true.
There we go. So that's going to do it, gang. We'll be back with new in-studio episodes this September. We thank you so much for continuing to tune in. And, hope you're having a good summer. Hope you get some time off, all that good stuff.
And next week, you could join us in Los Angeles because
That's
we'll be
right.
talking about twins
Yeah.
on
That's
the main feed. A
right.
really fun live episode at the Hollywood Improv, one of our favorite rooms.
Yeah, that's going to be a great example of what it's like to see us live on the road, gang. So you should try to do that whenever you can. But that's it. We're shutting down the shop for the summer. Thanks so much for your support. We'll see you in September. Until then, I've been Andrew Jupin.
Steven Zadak.
Eric Siska.
Chris Cabin.
Take it easy.